It rests on a small YouTube channel, hosted by the wickedest lords of hell. Here is the first internet clip show to offer to the daring a look into the final maddening space between life and death. A case of the Mondays. To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It is only a live stream. Only a live stream. Only a live stream. Videos and songs far beyond anything you've tested. A case of the Mondays.
Stop you hammering. I'm on in the mall. Cause every day's the anniversary of the year before. And if it's a day gone by, then it's 365. Random tangents, that's like a tree. Diverse inevitability. And if it's a day gone by, then it's 365. I said band, over the band. I can't believe it's Monday again. Part of the problem is the passage of time. Part of the problem is what goes with sudden line. Part of the problem is the answer is a cure. And a big part of that is the thing that keeps me poor. Sunset's columns support a feeling like who's in a drowning man's frozen ceiling. And if it's a day going by, then it's 365. 365. That's right. I'll sit back over the bed. I can't believe it's Monday again. Part of the problem is the passage of time. Part of the problem is what goes with salt and lime. Part of the problem is the answer is a cure. And a big part of that is the thing that keeps me poor. Sunset's columns support a feeling like holes in a drowning man's frozen ceiling. And if it's a day gone by, then it's 365. And if it's a day gone by, then it's 365. If it's a day, if it's a day, if it's a day, gone by. If it's a day gone by, if it's a day gone by. If it's a day gone by, if it's a day gone by, if it's a day gone by.
If it's a day gone by, it's 365. Welcome everyone to Case of the Mondays. I'm your host, Gene Skin. Hope you're having a good night wherever you are and whenever you are.
Stop you.
Oops, I don't know why I did that. Let's get right to the show. Here we
Draw
go.
a wide circle, shave a little off the
Good to
top.
see you guys.
Now draw an eye and another eye. Time for a smile. It's banana shape.
He's
Now
making the
make
one
a
from the,
thin nose line. Now
the shotgun
scribble
game. I
some
forget what that's
red
actually
around
called.
the eyes. Go
The deal maker.
now
the
we're
dealer.
gonna
I
stretch
forget what that game
in
is
some
called.
gums.
I know I've seen it
Smile,
done.
take
I've seen a lot of people
Gotta do
play
the
it, but I
nose,
don't
gotta
remember
do
the
the
name of it.
brow, gotta do the cheeks, and then the upper lip. And finally, the lower lip. Let's add another highlight layer. Just sort of trace over top of what you've already done. Guess what? One more highlight layer. Nose, brow, cheeks, bottom lip. Then we're good. Let's make some long triangular teeth. I'm just doing 3 lines and then filling in. The bottom ones are shorter.
I'm glad you're
A couple of
sucking,
quick
Jenny.
highlights on the sides of these teeth here. Oh, we gotta
Can't give up that
smooth out
suck
that
grind
ball.
set after.
And finally, some bonus scum.
And we're done. Did you like this tutorial? Then hit subscribe.
Damn. Remaster Bob sent this in. Here we go. It is a teaser for something called The King and the Thief. Oh. Got his leg. Really nice animation, by the way. Character design's really good too, Ramen, yeah. Oh shit. Good shit, Tree Master Bob. Thank you very much for that. We'll go through the credits here and then we'll go to the next video. Give people their due, the artists and everything. Soon, by the way, that's just a teaser. So there you go, chat. Moving on, that's the Patreons. We don't need them. Here we go. Bugs on this end.
You really want to see something that's sad, take a look at what happened with...
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow. Look, I'm Donald Trump. I think I'm so cool because I got shot. What a loser. Are people seriously pretending that looks cool? He did a photo op because he heard a loud noise? Loser! Ugh, who's impressed with this guy? America will never be defeated.
Hell yeah. Over exaggeration's funny though.
USA! 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 Wow, now he's juggling. When you go to magic camp? Who is this supposed to impress? Thank you, everyone. Thank you. As if we're supposed to be intimidated by this. Oh my god. Oh, this just in. Joe Biden just bravely and heroically dropped out of the race with an extremely courageous tweet. Whoa.
Courageous
That's the bravest
tweet.
and most patriotic thing I've ever heard of. Truly an American hero. Can you imagine anything more
I was
impressive?
holding back a
What
bear.
legacy. You know, not many people could have pulled that off. That really is impressive. Become a member at freedomtunes.com
Shit,
for
thank you,
exclusive
Strog. Really funny.
cartoons.
Moving on. Ramen, you sent this in. There we go.
Well, here we are, another boring day at this boring school where nothing even slightly interesting ever happened.
Oh boy.
Chill out, bro. It ain't all that bad.
Do either of you have any extra food?
Dakota.
Ben stole my lunch this morning and I have nothing to eat.
Damn, seriously?
I'm not even surprised.
Why don't you go tell Mr. Pingas? He's always eating a ton of
Mr.
pizza
Pingas?
rolls and Hot Pockets in the teacher's lounge.
Oh, it's Eggman.
Who the hell is that and what do you want?
Hey, Mr. Pingas.
What the actual crap are you doing in here? Aren't you supposed to be in class?
Yes, sir, but I came to ask for help. I don't have a lunch, and I was wondering if I could have some food later when lunchtime comes around.
Ha 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 ha! You really think that I'm gonna give a little gremlin like you some of my pizza rolls and Hot Pockets? You're absolutely delusional! I wouldn't even give my snacks to the teachers if they asked. What makes you think I'm gonna give stuff to a little ass muncher like you?
I'm sorry, sir. I really hate to ask, but Ben stole my lunch this morning.
Ben is the holy saint of the field of education. You seriously believe that a 5-star student like him would waste time with you? Nonsense!
No, I'm telling the truth. I swear.
Nope, you're just trying to get free food. Nice try! Mr. Zuck, what the hell is your ass doing in my office?
Zuckerberg.
Sorry, sir, but I came to inform you that we have a new student who is starting today.
Hi, my name's
No.
Thomas. Do you like Hot Wheels?
Oh, God, seriously? I already got a ton of shit I gotta do today.
This student is going to need
It
orientation.
has a
and
fucking
guidance
female
to his new
body. That's
classes.
hilarious.
Ooh, I got an idea! As punishment for wasting my time, Joe here is gonna take care of the new kid and show him around.
What?
Maybe if we get some alone time, we can compare zits.
Please, Mr. Pingas, I don't want to do this.
Oh, shut up! He ain't all that bad. His mom says he's really friendly.
Yeah, I have a ton of fun hobbies. Maybe we can become friends, and then later we can become piss brothers.
Cool. Now that we have that
What
figured
the
out, I'm
hell?
gonna go snort some more coffee beans.
Let's snort some more coffee beans, you know, as you do. By Saint Splooge. G.G. Allen. Oh, it's Pitbull.
So, who's
Great
this kid
Master
again?
Bob, we just
His
watched
name
The
is
King and the
Thomas,
Thief
and I
thing you
have to
said.
watch
Very
him
good
all
stuff,
day as
man.
punishment for asking for food.
Oh god,
Don't
look
worry,
at
Joe.
him!
I have some food you can eat. Here, you want some grips?
Hey, I love those. Thanks.
No way, you got grips? My mom never buys me those. Hand me a pack, would you?
I don't have any more grips, but don't worry, I got something even better for you.
Oh, sweet, I love this kid. What you got for me?
Here.
Eggs? Seriously, this isn't snacks or junk food. What the hell is this?
These aren't just any eggs. These are fertilized duck embryos. Go
Oh
ahead
no,
and crack
not
them
those
open.
eggs, no! Oh my god. Need it,
That
doll,
has
don't
to
do
be
it.
The most rancid fucking thing I've ever fucking seen. Who the actual fuck do you think you are?
I don't much enjoy your attitude. It would sure be a shame if something were to happen.
Dude, this kid is weird as hell.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go to the computer lab and play Bloons Tower Defense on cool math games. Maybe I'll see you guys around later. Enjoy the weird egg, Donald.
Dude, what the hell was that?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? That kid was weird and creepy as hell.
He can't be all that bad. He gave me free food.
He's not that bad, Donald. You're just mad that he didn't give you snacks.
Balloon popper game. So I love they keep using the BlackRock photo of this fucker.
Oh, what do
Ben
we have here?
Shapiro.
A student who is all alone in the computer lab playing video games.
Oh, sorry, I'm the new kid, so I didn't know any better.
New or not, I refuse to accept that as an excuse. You are clearly breaking school rules and shall be swiftly apprehended.
No, please. My mama will whip me if I get in trouble on my first day.
Mama will whip
Have you not
me.
been given orientation yet?
It's fucking
Why are you not in
whoa,
lunch, young
guys.
man?
I was supposed to stay with this kid named Joe, but then I came here to play cool math games. Please don't punish me.
Okay, very well. Perhaps we can let this slide.
Oh, yes, thank you.
But first, you have to do
Mr.
something for me.
Shapiro.
Yes, anything. I'll do anything you ask.
Boy, here we
Okay,
go.
class, sit down and shut up. Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mrs. Smith.
Oh, what's wrong, Donald? Are you having a bad morning?
Oh, what? Am I crazy or are you actually putting passion into your job for once?
Oh, fuck off, Donald. The real world doesn't care about your problems.
And clearly, this school doesn't care about you. My mom saw your post on Facebook about how you tried to apply for the high school but weren't good enough. Now hold this L and get shit on.
You're the worst thing to ever happen in my 40 years of teaching, Donald. Anyways, enough of all of that. We have a new student today. Come on in, Thomas. Everyone say good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, Thomas.
Thomas tried to poison me today.
Seriously, bro? You're gonna get us in trouble.
Enough, Donald. Do not make me call the principal down here.
I'm actually right here across the hall dealing with naughty goblin students. I will rain hell on you if you do anything stupid, Donald.
Yeah, whatever. Kiss my ass, Thomas.
Excuse me, ma'am, I really need to go potty. Where's the restroom at?
Certainly. How about we have Donald show you so that I can forget he exists and have 5 minutes of peace?
What? Screw that. I'm not going to the bathroom with that weirdo.
Do not mess with me today, Donald. I'm up to my knees dealing with Kim and Andrew right now. You're gonna take that guy to the goddamn bathroom, and you're
Kardashian, if that's the case, that's hilarious.
after him if he misses the fucking urinal. Otherwise, I will give you detention for the rest of the fucking millennia.
God damn it, this is so unfair. This is already weird enough. Are you done yet?
Almost done. Just gotta be sure to shake off all those extra droplets.
Dude, we're in middle school now. Why the hell do you pull your pants all the way down when taking a piss?
This is how I've always done it. I can only do it this way. No other way.
Whatever, just hurry up already.
All right, I'm all done. My bladder is officially depleted. Shall we return to class?
Yeah, not so fast. It's not often that I get to leave class. I'm going to go ahead and do us a favor and kill 15 minutes with the massive dump that I was saving for 7th period.
What? You're taking a dump?
Yeah, I'm taking a dump. Now you get to skip half of math class. You can thank me later.
I don't know about this. I don't think I'm comfortable breaking the rules.
Oh, for crying out loud, I'm not breaking the rules. I'm just taking a shit.
I don't know, man. You seem pretty sus. I think I'm gonna have to go tell on you.
What? You're actually kidding right now.
Hee hee. Nope. See ya.
God damn it, Thomas.
Put it down, bro. Put it down! 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 What did I tell you? Down! Down! Put your hands behind your back. You got any guns on you? No, papi. No, papi. No. I ain't your papi. Put your head down.
What's going on?
No, papi. What do you got? Just that? Yes. Just marijuana? Yes.
Just marijuana.
You got no knife on you? No, papi, nothing. You sure? Yes, papi. I ain't your papi. Yes, officer.
What? What the hell is it? What?
Sorry to disturb you, sir.
Oh, heavens! If it isn't the one and only coolest and brightest kid of all time. How you doing, Ben?
Haha, thanks. I know. I just wanted to come here to talk to you about Donald, Joe, and Obama.
Oh, God.
Obama?
What the hell did those naughty little ass pockets do this time?
Well, I've been studying their grades and stuff from recent years ever since you gave me full access to the Progress Book School portal database.
Yep, and what about it?
Well, to put it simply, I think you should consider putting all of them into the special classes. It would be for their own good, of course.
Ha! I like the sound of that! I'd have to run it by the principal, but that sounds spicy! Just open the damn door!
Hey, sir. Sorry to bother you guys, but I have to report Donald. He's fooling around and wasting time in the bathroom.
Oh, for crying out loud! Come on, guys! Let's go do some screaming and punishment!
Hello?
The gig is up, Donald! Quit fooling around and come out here so I can punish you!
What? All I'm doing is taking a dump. You can't give me detention for taking a dump.
Shut up, Donald. Listen to Mr. Pingus and get out of there.
Is that Ben? Eat my ass, Ben.
If you wanted to take a shit, then you should have done that before going to class.
This is ridiculous. If you give me detention for taking a dump, my dad will literally sue the school.
God damn it! This school can't afford another lawsuit.
Crap, we need to do something. He can't get away with this.
Well, as long as he's in the stall, I can't go anywhere near him.
Don't worry, guys. I will save the day. Time to make my claim and become the new cool kid.
Oh, God.
Wait, what? No, don't do that.
No.
All right, buddy, your crime streak is at an end. I'm taking the toilet paper hostage until you come out and face your bad deeds. Well, that ought to take care of it. You can thank me later.
Later that day.
Till that
Well,
day.
Mr. Pingus, it's quite a shame that I have to
Fuck.
blackmail you again, but I will do anything to protect my son.
Oh, shut up, Craig. It's not like Donald was in danger or anything.
Craig.
Oh, yeah? Well, there's got to be something I can sue you for. A kid went into my kid's stall while he was taking a dump, all under your watch.
Just calm down already. The kid's gonna get suspended, and he's moving to a new school. Now let's just pretend none of this ever happened.
Okay, fine. Come on, son. I guess we can go get ice cream since you were assaulted today.
Yes, let's fucking go.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Robin. Moving on. Here we go. Strong on this one. Gobot.
Come on, man. First they uploaded
Headless
the
room.
virus, and now I just saw on Twitter X that they're rebooting the system with a new bot. My dad used to have an expression. He'd say, Joe, f them assholes. To my 14 million primary voters, I say, don't worry. They are hard at work at a back room somewhere, saving democracy as we speak. Nothing is more democratic than having the party install a new candidate after the primaries had ended. My VP Trump will make a forfeitable candidate and beat that other clown Zelensky in the general election this November. As borders are,
Or still
she
more
visited
coherent
El
than the real
Paso
thing.
once and was able to get to the root cause of salsa being made in New
Salsa.
York City. To my 10 million undocumented friends, I say, remember, they can only print so many ballots, so be sure to vote. Before I shut down and go back to self-isolating, let me leave you with this. A belated happy National Ice Cream Day.
Bedroom, that's funny, Robin. Thank you for that, Strog, from Politizoid. Moving on. Next.
Hey guys, Chris the Ghost Doctor here. And
boy.
last night I ended up answering a question about a online personality. I guess his name is Nick Rikita. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know who this guy is. But
There
my
he is.
reply
There's
ended up
Chris.
getting
Hi, Chris.
A lot of buzz. So I told everybody that
So I know
would
you've
do
changed your career
this
path
kind of
from what you did before to being a ghost doctor now, before, you know, being an AVGN ripoff, so here we are. Here's the modern world we live in.
as compared to now. And if you see him back in 2019, he's very he looks full of life, he talks very well, and now his face is very gaunt in his videos. I guess he slurs his words, on the verge of passing
It's called
out,
alcoholism,
from time
Chris.
to time, and people are like, what is going on with this guy? Because I guess he's an alcoholic. At one point, he put
To
a
mention
necklace
does
on,
cocaine.
and I guess there's some theories out there that it was cursed, and could that do anything? And yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna say that's the
Absolutely,
complete
dog.
catalyst of it,
Absolutely.
but it could have him putting a necklace on that somebody sent him that is
Those
cursed.
proctologists, that's
the
funny.
door. If you don't know how to properly cleanse yourself or your space, you know, once these things start.
Yes,
to slip
it's
in,
clearly
you can kinda,
needing
like,
some
plant the
sage to
flag
clear
and start
to clear his soul,
invade
Chris.
that
It's
space
not the
and
fact
make
he
all
was a
kinds of
degenerate
havoc on their
beforehand,
life.
bud.
I think
Come on.
Somebody told you he divorced over time. I saw. So yeah, they can just get in and cause all kinds of havoc in your life. And I saw that he's an alcoholic too, and that's kind of taken over his life as
What's
well.
with the?
And the problem with this is
What's with the, like, he's going for like a Zach? He's trying to look like Zach Baggins more and more. I mean, what's with the stubble going on, Chris? He used to be clean shaven.
every vice, human.
You're older
vice
now,
out
so I don't
there,
really care. But it's just
drugs,
kind of funny to me.
alcohol, even porn has their own frequency level that attracts beings in. They have their own frequency beings. So
see beams,
you know,
but
you
it's
have
just
these
frequency
alcoholic
beings.
spirits around you, constantly
Alcoholic
feeding off you
spirits?
because they love that. You know, they're not living. They can't drink a beer, so they have to drink it through.
He's-
you.
and he
They're-
licks
they're
his lips
feeding off
dry.
You and.
Rub
This
your
is why
nose.
we see the life force kind of like draining out of this guy over time, because maybe
Yes, the
that's
spirits
exactly
that
what's
are
going
in
on.
alcohol,
Something is
that's
feeding
not what it
off
means,
him.
stop.
I've come up with different classifications of spirits, and
Yes,
parasite
of course.
spirits.
Here,
are
I'll
just
side
one of
by
those
side
things,
comparison
you know,
here for a
people,
second.
places, and
He's
things.
trying.
So,
Wait till
yeah,
his
this
eyesight
is
goes
a
because of a
thing.
ghost.
I'm
There we
dead
go.
serious here. Over time, he's also gotten.
That sounds like you, Gene Alcoholic Spirit.
More and sex
Strong, if
acts
you
and
want to know
things
the
like
truth,
that.
I
That's
haven't
another
actually had like a
attribute to
drink.
this. You know, you get
I mean, I've had like a
guttural,
beer maybe a
in all
month
your
ago. I've not
actions
had a
because you
drink
have
for a
no
while now.
inhibit.
Not like I can't have
nothing
one. I don't mind
inhibits you.
having a drink
You
every
just
now and again. Just
throw it all out
I
there,
stopped
'cause you
just because I wanted to.
Moving that line forward,
Just because I was
like,
focused on
I
other
got away
things in
with
my
this,
life.
I could do this and this and this and this.
He's
We
a
see that
spirit
lot in
drinker,
our
that's for
culture.
sure. I could make a drink. I
And
could have made a drink for the
that's-
stream.
you know,
I
lost
just don't
my
do it most
father
of the
to
time. It's been like a month
alcoholism,
or two.
so I'm no stranger to this. I've
No big
seen
deal with
how
me.
this
I
can wreak
didn't
havoc,
think I have a problem.
And I had
Still
a lot
don't think I have a
of
problem
things
with
happen around
drinking.
me. Because I'm just
But
open to
I
it.
just stopped.
When my dad would
Sure,
drink,
Gene.
things would
I
happen.
did, Jenny.
would
I'm not
see
drinking
shadow
today.
people. Like,
For
things
real, I have no
really got
drink.
Crazy, and so yeah, the guttural
Spirit
thing,
giving the sucks.
the
Hey
life
Jenny, how
force
long has it been
thing,
since you've
also
not had
just
a
wanna
new
put it out
succulent
there.
seed?
When back in 2012,
Talking about addictions.
my YouTube channel was the 50th
Huh, Jenny?
most
How many
subscribed
more
channel
sucks do you need?
on YouTube,
You're not selling them.
and that turned a lot of heads.
What happened to
and
that
I had a
idea?
lot of,
The business plan
prominence
is selling them
in certain
sucks.
circles. So I was approached by
The
powers
first
that
step
be,
towards
and
recovery
they
is
wanted me to
admitting
be
you have a
part of their
problem.
club.
Gene, I don't have a
and
problem.
Look, they threw stuff at me like commercial deals, celebrities,
Hey Jenny,
things like
do you
that, and I
admit you
told
have a
them no.
problem with Mike and eggs?
And they kind of ruined my online life
How many
after that, but
boxes have you gone through recently?
He was approached.
Succulents, Mike and
you know,
eggs?
I don't know if he took the deal or
I'm
not.
just asking,
but
Jenny.
If he did,
I think we're doing an
maybe,
intervention
you know,
for
there
you
are
right
certain
now.
Things expected
No.
of you if you do take this deal.
I don't.
And maybe he just
Yeah, there
can't
you go.
handle it, so maybe that's how.
For his own
adding to the
bathtub jungle
spiraling
juice. That's
down
right,
that he's
Ramen.
going
I'll
through.
make a jungle juice at some
Just a lot
point.
of
Don't
things.
you worry.
And I'm sure
Just
there's
like
a lot
Sky,
of,
and I'll film it just
demonic
for Jenny.
connotations to
Jenny,
it.
when's your
It
birthday
doesn't
again?
necessarily have to be demonic. Just dark spirits.
I'll do it next year for
spirits
you.
coming in, feeder spirits.
My
things like
sister
that.
gave me
So
3 fucking
just
plants
food for thought.
tomorrow.
I know a lot of people like this guy and don't like the way things have
I'm
gone.
high.
Things like that.
Come on. Okay, sorry about that. I hit my laptop and it knocked the receiver out of the
So
the
you just
USB
got
port.
me.
Sorry about that.
And,
That was
I
funny.
hope that answers all our questions.
I
Somebody
was
asked,
laughing
something
hard. I
about,
hit my new laptop.
Spirits. You know, this is why alcohol
She gave me a
is
fucking.
sometimes
All right, that's
referred
great,
to
Jenny.
as
I'm glad you can
spirits, you know,
name the
spirits that you
plant.
drink, because it does attract spirits. in.
Like,
This
bitch,
is-
it ain't a
this is
suck
coined by the Jewish,
anyways. Yeah, how does that make you
philosophy.
feel, Jenny? That people like don't give you the plants you want. They give you like their hand-me-down plants that they don't care about.
You know, the rabbis back then would pray over their alcohol because
Gamer
they
girl
knew that it
bathtub
would
jungle
attract certain
juice.
spirits
They'd have to
in.
be pretty
So,
pink if it's
yeah,
gamer
you gotta
girl
be very
juice.
careful with alcohol.
Like,
and
say,
any,
like,
you know,
blindingly
drugs,
pink.
Anything that could turn into a vice. That's why they're called the 7 deadly sins.
The
they
seven,
don't throw
the
that
7 deadly sins. Oh my God.
out there for a reason. So I hope that helps. Thank you. Follow me if you want to know more about this stuff and you have any more questions.
Oh, boy.
Please ask and I'll try to get to them.
You cut that off wrong, Chris.
My third eye
Broetry.
open, sometimes it farts. I got so much shit
Yeah, Jenny, sure you are. When are you gonna sell? When's your shop making up? Come on.
up in my head, sometimes it shirts. Sometimes
She's
I
growing
feel like I'm
fungi
playing
because she
Rock
can't
Band
grow a
all
rose.
alone. Sometimes I feel like someone sucked all the emojis out my phone.
Hey, he said suck.
100. Bro,
100.
remember Smash
Broetry.
Bros? We
50
used to
cent.
Smash, bro.
You're
You were
Smash,
the
bro.
Peach, and I was the Mario.
He was the
We
Peach
used
and I
to
was the
smash,
Mario.
Bro. I guess that's what happens when you YOLO. I guess that's what
YOLO.
happens when you swag. I guess that's what happens when you blame your KDR on Xbox lag. Why'd you have a kid, man? We had a rap group. Say it with me. Why'd you
Broetry.
have a kid, man? We had a rap group. Now we old and sometimes it hurts when I poop. Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
Where did all the fist bumps go? You don't want to fist me no mo?
I don't want to fist me. Thanks for the drug. Moving on. All right, hey Jenny, you sent this in. Oh God.
How do you go from being such a passionate opponent?
It was a debate.
Oh God. Oh look, the woman who got ahead by giving head. Great.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage.
Well,
God.
Kamala with the left.
I'm gonna end myself in Porky. Jenny.
Is there something wrong with
Jenny, of course you would take Porky out with you. I had no doubt there. I mean, that's obviously what you gotta do, right, Jenny? Hey, I'm not encouraging you to do it, but if you did do it, you would take Porky. That's the kind of person you are.
She kept laughing.
she does laugh exactly like Hillary. That's because that's her favorite pupil. And we will definitely talk about that come Friday, because there will be a Hell on Earth chat. So be sure for that on Heretic Unlimited at 9. Definitely gonna have stuff to talk about then. Anyway, moving on. Time for, you know what, Jenny, your favorite part.
All right, 24-9 Minnesota. We're gonna need some points in that game.
24-9.
Big E.
Yeah, we're gonna need some points.
This girl's
Falls
house
in love
is
with
on
the Southwest
point.
Airlines
She's always been
tattoo.
one of my favorite.
Ring girl.
Like the heart tattoo, which says Southie.
Wow.
What's that say?
Southwest Airlines.
I think she's promoting Southwest flights.
She is, yep.
Yep.
Pick your own seat.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
And we have
Look at
Big
them
Ev
titties.
saying he loves her.
Oh.
Big Ev.
Wow.
Big Ev literally did the heart motion.
Big Ev.
I love
Heart
her.
emoji.
That's the first time he's done it tonight, so everyone knows.
Big Ev
Means
gave the
something.
heart. Big Ev is pointing at her, saying he loves her. He is not keeping it impartial.
Damn.
We're gonna have to get Big Ev on the. Caleb,
Yeah.
maybe after this fight, we talk to Big Ev and whether he's keeping it impartial. He did a love sign like Kiki, I love you.
Hey, I'm here with Big Ev, who's doing the Ring Girls tonight. What have you been seeing out there?
I've been seeing a lot of intensity, a lot of passion, a lot of heart. Beautiful girls, smart girls, love what they're doing out there, giving the crowd a show. God bless them, all the love and respect to these ladies.
Have you had a hard time staying partial, staying unbiased?
No, I love them all. I love them all. I can't be biased because I love
Look
every
at this
single
fucking
one of them.
shirt.
I'm here to represent every single one of them.
And how are you doing that?
I think I'm doing a great job.
Well, you're definitely doing a great job.
Thank you. Here we just
You
moral
dog.
support, whatever they need, a shoulder, whatever they need. You know, these girls are tired. They're working hard out there.
This Big Ev is a rising star on the ring.
The double vodka dawn, ladies and gentlemen.
Robbie Fox here, Rough and Rowdy commentator and ringside correspondent.
Here you go,
If you're
Jenny.
new to
It's
the
over.
channel,
Moving
make
on.
sure you
Here we
subscribe.
go. Shrugs on this end.
Hey everyone, Pushing Up Roses here, and welcome to a very sunshiny video. Today I'll be looking at a wild episode of The X-Files, though I must warn you now, there is no Mulder wearing enormous pants this time. In fact, there's no Mulder at all, as this is an episode from a later season,
Poorly.
episode 18 from season 9. I discovered this existed after watching a very interesting video by the channel Atomic Abe about the various failed Brady spin-offs. The video briefly mentions this insane episode of The X-Files featuring the Brady Bunch, and I just had to see what that was all about. I couldn't wait to see how these characters tied into the X-Files. Are they aliens? Ghosts? Oh no, there's so much more than that. Let's dive
Demons?
into Sunshine Days featuring Alice, scientific experiments on children, yeeting, T-1000,
Yeeting.
Bud Bundy,
The
and playing
T-1000,
ball in
look at
the
him.
house.
She always says, don't play ball in the house.
Our story begins with two young men having a drink and talking about deep things.
So what do you think, man? What do I think about what? It's the Brady Bunch house.
What? No, it's not. Look at it. This is Blake and his friend Mike, played by David Faustino of Married with Children. Interesting casting choice, since Married with Children is basically the
Ow.
exact opposite of the Brady Bunch. Blake explains that it's the interior that resembles the Brady house, and he is convinced it's where the original show was filmed. He noticed it while delivering pizza the night before and is determined to prove this to his friend. Blake
Oh,
knocks on the
boy.
door and nobody answers. Finding it unlocked, he invites himself in, and it does
Turn
in
the channel
fact
Pushing
look
Up Roses.
exactly like the Brady house.
You
Keep
said
in
that, but I
mind
just
that
had
the
to say it
original
myself,
set
too.
for the show had been
case
taken
you
down
didn't hear.
long before the filming of this episode, so what you're seeing here was built entirely by the production crew, and it's pretty damn impressive and accurate. They even got this tacky horse statue that was seen in many of the Brady episodes. Suddenly, while Blake and Mike are admiring the vase Peter broke in a now cult classic episode, a football rolls down the stairs. Blake asks Mike if he remembers the episode where Marcia gets hit in the nose with a football, and Mike is freaking out. He splits, but Blake wants to live out his Brady dreams and heads up the stairs where he finds Cindy and Bobby. Come play with us, Blake. Play with us forever.
Terrifying.
And ever. He follows them into their room. Meanwhile, Mike waits for his friend, but it's in vain because he's hurtled from the house, implied by the sound of a window breaking, and falls onto Mike's car, dead.
Damn, son.
Well, Mom always said not to play ball in the house, else you'll be yeeted. We cut to Agent Doggett, played by Roger Patrick of Terminator 2 fame, who seems to be
Oh yeah, it
looking
is
at
Robert
something.
Patrick. There he
Yep.
is.
It's the sky. He tells his partner, Agent Reyes, that the answer is clear. Blake fell out of a helicopter. You think this kid was in a helicopter at
What the
12 a.m.
fuck?
at night and no one heard it?
Sure, Jan.
Obviously, it's not that, but I can't tell if Doggett is being serious or not. He finds a piece of something on Mike's car and bags it. Mike shows up and gives an eyewitness account. Alright, now what did you see, kid?
What I witnessed was Freaksville, man.
All right, very descriptive. He tells them that it's the Brady house, which Reyes shoots down immediately, explaining that the house was a set in Hollywood. Mike insists they check it out regardless, as this is the murder scene no matter what is in the house. They knock on the door and Oliver Martin answers, the house's owner. He seems very skittish and says he doesn't have more to say and that he already talked to the police. I keep waiting for Doggett to show him a picture of Blake and say, "Have you seen this boy?" Mike loses his patience and breaks into the house, bewildered by what he's seeing. It's an entirely different place. Despite that, he does not change his story and insists he knows what he saw. Hot damn, listen to that crazy oboe solo.
Fat guy coming through the house?
Doggett practices the art of Jessica Fletcher snooping. Garbage. He climbs onto the roof and confirms that the piece of rubble he found on the car came from the shingles. Looks like it had been patched recently, too.
When I was inside, I knew I smelled fresh plaster.
So are you gonna fill me in?
What, with plaster? No, why would I do that? He starts to speculate that Blake was in fact yeeted out of the house through the roof.
I think I'm finally getting the hang of this job.
You've been on this show for a few seasons, how are you just getting the hang of it now? Agent Scully begins her medical examination on Blake, though that headset makes it look like she's about to hop on a game of Call of Duty. Before she can begin, a scalpel starts twitching, and when she touches it, it zaps her. Later that night, Scully tells the two agents that she found roofing material lodged into Blake's head, so that gives Doggett's theory some weight. To explain him getting hurtled from the house, she says it could have been electricity, and that she hooked up the body to an EEG machine.
And for the last few hours, he's been putting off a faint reading.
Don't misunderstand.
Wow.
He's dead. But he's given off a charge. Scully says that if Mulder were here, he'd explain it with poltergeist and supernatural activity.
Ghosts and poltergeists. That's what Mulder would say.
Is that what I'm supposed to say? Meanwhile...
Kissing. Or am I just too
oh,
fucking...
you thought it was pee, didn't you? You
beer pouring out for my homie, dog.
Mike pours one out for his friend and foolhardily decides to go back into the house.
Why'd you do that?
He looks through the window and sees Alice. In the next window, he sees the Bradys at the table eating their dinner. He runs to the door, bursts inside, and they're gone. But the food is still there. Solid.
Fuck.
Oliver confronts him and urges him to leave before it's too late. Suddenly, Mark starts to levitate, and he's also yeeted right through the roof. Kid got Wile E. Coyote'd. He really made an impression. The agents go to question Oliver, but he's a little irritated.
I've said all I'm gonna say to you people. You don't like it? Go get your warrant.
Aw, he didn't even say hi. Scully finds somebody from Oliver's past, Dr. John Reitz, a paranormal psychologist of sorts, who used to study him when he was younger.
Strong. You did
Don't
send
worry,
this in.
they don't test on animals, just children. He calls him Anthony in the footage. John reacts to something in the video, but it's sadly blurred out. He explains that the blocks that were on the table all rose up to the ceiling.
Demons.
Glad that wasn't on film.
He knows it sounds crazy, but says the electromagnetic field was strong enough to fog the camera lens.
I believe you.
That's what I'm supposed to say, right? Dr. Reitz says he spent 6 months with Oliver, who was then called Anthony Fogelman, and during that time discovered the boy was psychokinetic. Reitz says that over time, Oliver's powers faded and they eventually lost touch. He just remembers him being an extremely lonely boy. In the next scene, we see Oliver manifesting the Brady house and the kids, but his fantasy is interrupted by a call and a message
he's
from
the one
Dr.
manifesting
Reitz saying
them,
he wants
okay.
to meet up. The message causes him distress. I won that eBay bid. Agent Reyes finds something in her research. She wanted to know why someone without a criminal record would change their name, so she ran Oliver Martin through a search, and look what popped up. Oh no, he's trying to be Cousin Oliver? If you don't remember, Cousin Oliver popped up on the Brady Bunch during its final season. He stayed with the Bradys, and nobody liked him. Also, his name was not
Crappy
Oliver
do
Martin.
of the Brady
I'm not
Bunch.
sure if that's a writing goof or intentional, but on the show, Oliver's last name was Tyler, so Agent Reyes' search probably wouldn't lead them to this site. Doggett asks Reitz if Oliver was into the Brady Bunch.
Jenny?
We'd watch it together.
Good enough. Doggett and Reitz
Oh, what
pay
a
visit to the
shock.
house. No one answers the door, so Doggett picks the lock. To his surprise, it's the Brady house.
Oliver Martin! FBI!
Why is there no toilet in this house? Doggett finds
Weird.
Oliver upstairs and he becomes distressed again, yeeting another person through the roof. Luckily, it wasn't with enough force to send him flying out the house, so instead he's just stuck to the attic roof, which was designed to look like Greg Brady's groovy bedroom. Reitz
Weird.
finds Anthony, who wants to be called Oliver,
Brady
and tries to
sucks.
calm him down, urging him to let Doggett go.
Anthony, you're a good person.
I mean, he murdered 2 people, but okay. With the doctor's help, he's able to relax, and Doggett falls through the Doggett-sized hole in the ceiling. The episode doesn't really give us a clear reason as to why Oliver can make the Brady house appear. He simply thinks about it, and there it is. Scully asks him if he can think about another place, so he does. With the magic of early 2000s chroma keying, they're transported to A field.
Hi. I'm in Delaware.
I mean, it's fine. He could have put them into Star Trek, though. That would have been more impressive. Kind of looks like they're in an FMV game from the 90s. Scully tells Oliver that with his help, they can learn so much more about telekinesis and brain stuff.
I would love to take you back with us to Washington.
Remember all those experiments we did on you as a kid? Oh, we want to do them again. You down? He agrees with some encouragement.
Hound dog?
Dr. Reitz.
It would mean so much to me, Oliver.
Emotional manipulation, yeah.
Is that a weird reference to Tiger, the dog that lived with the Bradys for 2 seasons then never returned? I hope so. Doggett is concerned Oliver cannot control his powers and he has a bad feeling about things, but Scully is excited to finally have tangible proof of supernatural powers. Oliver proves that he can do it by making Walter Skinner, the supervisor of the X-Files department, levitate. Eat your heart out, David Copperfield. Remember when David Copperfield was in Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis? This isn't related to anything, just... You remember that? Everyone
Bring up that movie just cuz?
Thrilled that with this proof, nobody would dare shut down the X-Files department. Unfortunately, Oliver's powers have become too much for him, and he has a seizure that sends him to the hospital. The doctor tells Scully that he's experiencing multi-level organ failure, and it's likely due to his powers. She tries to explain further.
I'm listening, Jenny. Go ahead, type what you gotta type. I know you're gonna have a little delay.
His
What's
fictional
up?
friends, realizing he is dying. Doggett comes to the conclusion that no amount of medical treatment will help because they're treating the symptoms and not the cause. He asks why is he so obsessed with the Bradys, and everyone agrees that it's because they're the perfect family and that's what Oliver wanted. But Doggett retorts with, why not the Partridge Family, or 8 is enough? There's a lot of perfect TV sitcom families, and everyone realizes
An earthquake?
it's because
Wow.
he equates watching the show with being with Dr. Reitz, the only father figure he'd ever known. When he was happy, his power faded, and he was happy with Dr. Reitz. So basically, the FBI nearly killed this guy for personal vindication.
Talk to him, will you?
I can't deal with this fucker. I'm gonna go sponge bath an old man. Reitz appeals to Oliver.
You have to understand. My life's work
Is more important than your health. Just kidding. Reitz says the vindication blinded him from seeing what he needed and asks for forgiveness, promising to take care of him from now on. I guess we're just kind of forgetting that 2 young men were murdered, but whatever. This is all in the name of love or something.
Sorry you don't get your proof.
I cannot believe no one filmed this. This was a very weird episode, but then again, these particular ones usually are. This is one of the Monster of the Week episodes, which are stories that aren't really connected to the overarching story of the X-Files. In fact, I covered 2 other episodes from this category, the Postmodern Prometheus and Humbug. There's actually a lot of these episodes, so many that I didn't really care much about the conspiracy storyline. I found myself wanting more Monsters of the Week because they're reminiscent of creature features, and shows like The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone. This one did not disappoint on the absurdity
Talk about
scale,
monsters?
but I
Come on.
did find myself getting pretty frustrated at this idea
Tales
that
from the
Dave
Dark Side,
Scully
both of those
is
have
so
creature
close
feature
to
stuff in them.
proof and doesn't get it, even though there were plenty of opportunities to get it. They keep saying this man's powers can change the world as they know it, but nobody whipped out a camera during the office scene?
I may have
Just
felt
kind
it
of
too, Jenny,
ends
but
on
I
"We
didn't feel
almost
it. Maybe
had
I heard it too, because
Oh,
I think I
well,
woke up
guess
during
we
that
are
time and fell
changing
back
the world
asleep.
Today, which seems like a very blasé reaction to something that could have rewritten every science book in the world. Still, I like this weird, manifested Brady Bunch family. I wish there were more instances of them because it's a perfectly creepy idea. The name of the episode, Sunshine Days, is named after one of the Brady Kids songs, and yeah, they had a brief foray into music. It was weird.
When it's time to change, then it's time to change. Don't fight the tide, come along for the...
As I mentioned before, the set was built by the production crew. Julian Anderson, who plays Agent Scully, recalls that fans from all over the LA area visited just to get pictures. I'm sure that wasn't annoying at all. I highly recommend checking this episode out. It was pretty fun, and even though I'm more of a Mulder fan, I do like Agent Doggett. Though his pants will never compare to Mulder's pants. If you have a suggestion for a Monster of the Week episode for me to review, please leave a comment. Nearly all of my videos are based on recommendations from my viewers, and until next time, the truth is out there.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Strug. Moving on. Ramen, you
Hey,
sent
everyone.
this in. Here we go.
All American. Repeating crossbow felon. For weapon modifications, we'll be running Glock switch bump stock as seen on live. The class will be going as prisoner with a high vigor, endurance, stamina. Make sure to max out your intelligence to maintain access to firearms while being a felon. Helmet, mask of the prison,
Being a
China
felon.
militia clothes, made in China. For bolts, we'll be running Pfizer
China.
and Moderna. Double booster action. For civilians, we'll be using lightning and fire. You have the right to remain dead, as God intended. Here's to another 1,000 years of psyops. What a great century to die for lizard people. God bless this country. Let's rain hell on our subhuman enemies. Skin your enemies alive and consume their desire to live. Pay your taxes, President Spawn.
Your taxes?
Just 2 words. White phosphorus napalm round. It's time to teach these foreigners a lesson in democracy. massive surplus of asbestos and HIV to guarantee lifelong debilitation. With great enough patriotism, you can invade mid-boss fight, becoming the boss itself. I'm the boss now. After sustaining injury, I repositioned behind the NATO border. Life superiority maintained. Their boss fight's government has been successfully destabilized. Calm me down. That'll teach you to be foreign on our side.
Calm me down.
And then I saw him. Abu bin Baba Gubgub. The Pentagon gave me the A-OK to neutralize the target. With the dictator assassinated, they'll be replaced with someone much more liberty-oriented. Try as you might, freedom will always win. Word spreads of our freedom blood harvest. These cowards throw themselves off the edge to avoid brutal mutilation. We can strike anywhere, anytime. Devour your oppressors. If you're operating a tyrannical government or playing the Elden Ring DLC with a friend, remember, you are not safe. We will not stop until every road is an 8-lane highway. With an exit to fast food, convenience store, gas stations every 5 miles.
Well, thank you for that, Ramen. Moving on. Oh no, I can't. Oh, that one's blocked. Hotline Miami with a foot fetish, Angerfoot, and got age restricted. Damn. Let me just see to be sure. If it's rage restricted, I can't play it even in the other thing too. Give me 1 second to just be sure though. It may just be in watch together only. Give me 1 second. Let's Fleek. Let's see. Hotline. Let's see. Just do Fleekazoid. Fleekazoid. Let's be sure. I gotta be 100% sure. Let's see. Is it gonna play here? Nope. I gotta sign in to confirm. So nope, we can't watch the one. Sorry about that. Anyway, moving on. Spooky time, Ramen sent this in. Here we go. Dead air. Something about it getting age restricted. Fleek will probably re-upload it though. We'll watch it when it's not. Boom, 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 boom. Just in case. Whoa, Kimosabi. Hey, Pox. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit, Ramen, like you said there. Just in case. Let's see. Not super loud, but we'll turn it down to that, probably. There we go. Whoa, Kimosabi. Alright. Here we go. You found it. I don't know if I wanted to find it. Under the tree. Oh no. Oh no, Friday Night Funkin'. Oh, it is an FNF mod. I just realized that. Media-based mod, yeah. Internet horror media-based mod. Wow. You got me, Ramen. You got me. Jenny will be hating this. Jenny will be like, oh my god, Ramen. Why did you do this? Doing good, Fox. Good to see you. Okay. Creepypasta / analog thing, yeah. Or you maybe said ARG. Either way. Analog horror can move into ARG territory too, that's kind of true. And so can creepypasta. Missing. We didn't miss a note though. God. This kind of just makes me think of Typing of the Dead. I know you do. You're fine. Bum bum bum. I'll play it. It almost looks like Smile Dog. It looks like Cyrax's face stretched out. It's weird. The quote-unquote disturbing imagery isn't always that disturbing. Sometimes it looks goofy as shit. Alright, next. Comatose. Oh boy. I'm ready. Oh, look who it is. The boiled one. Doctor, what is it? Is it Dr. No Sleep? Is that the channel that makes that guy? Or made these guys? I think it's Dr. No Sleep. Dr. Nowhere, that's right. Thank you, Roman. Dr. Nowhere, yeah. A lot of people apparently, well, not a lot of people, I should say. I saw a 4chan thread a while ago on X that said people were like, well, this isn't really that scary. Come on, dude, it's creative. I don't know, sometimes I think there's a little bit more purist for stuff in horror. And not in a good way, in a bad way. I mean, you know. Horror is one of the genres that can get very, very normie really quickly. But I thought Dr. Nowhere did a good job of what he made, and the things he keeps making too. It's different. I think there's people like saying horror's dead. I mean, what do you want from horror? What do you want from most of the time? Because it seems like nobody wants any original ideas. They want the same regurgitated shit over and over again. Oh, I want Michael Myers to keep killing people. Shut up. Shut up. No, I think there's original ideas to always be had. Fancy Island. Here we go. God. It does, yeah. I mean, I get the fact that analog horror itself is becoming oversaturated in some sense, too. But when there's good ones, there's good ones. This reminds me of, Nano, actually. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what it reminds me of. I'll hear shit like 666 Satan, user 666 Satan. Aesthetic-wise. God. Japanese. Wow. Oh God. Eyeballs. Oh, next. Minecraft. Is that Herobrine then? Big Eater. Oh no. That's terrifying looking. True. Like I said when I did the Midwest Angelica, I really like how that one is too. I think it's really unique. Vita Carnus is a good one too. There's quite a few that are out there that I like. I definitely think the internet has a lot to actually have horror-wise, but I can see how analog itself becomes oversaturated when people, like, everybody does it. But there are unique ones. The Jurassic Park analog horror is interesting, too. There's a shit ton of those. That's its own subgenre now. So, you know, all that stuff's kind of neat. But yeah, definitely Mandela and FNAF had a big impact on stuff. I mean, so did Marble Hornets back in the day and all those other, like, ARGs. Now it's everything with back rooms and all that stuff. It's definitely, you know, the stuff just comes and goes and wanes in popularity too. You know, I'm still glad that most of it's not fucking, you know, overdone zombie stuff. Because that was a big thing in the, you know, early 2000s. It was just, there's so many zombie movies out. Everyone had to have a zombie movie. Now it's getting that way with cape shit. I just told my mom today when I was talking to her when I went grocery shopping, because I helped her with that, you know, hero shit's just dead. It's fucking dead. I mean, sure, Wolverine Deadpool is doing good. Sure, but guess what? Heroes are still dead. Nobody gives two shits about superheroes anymore. Because it's just overdone, oversaturated. We're getting Doctor Doom. I can't wait for Robert Downey Jr. to barely act at all and play a more complicated character like Doctor Doom. It's so great. I'm so happy he's doing that. So he stepped aside from Iron Man because he was going to retire from Marvel stuff. Didn't happen. Downey Jr. is not that deep of an actor. He should really have not done that. He needs the money. I care about the fans, alright. This is spooky. Looks like the Minotaur, and that gives me House of Leaves vibes. That's fucking terrifying. It is more oddball variety ramen. Mob Psycho 100 by that guy too is really, really good. It's not really superhero in a sense, because like, I mean, there are superheroes and things like that in that too, I guess, but you have more with One Punch Man. Psycho 100 is actually really good. I say it's better than One Punch Man, but that's just my opinion.
Warning, this song contains rapidly flashing lights and
Look away.
images. Do not play this song if you have epilepsy or are susceptible to eye strain. We are not responsible for your actions.
The test thing, yeah, I remember this. Must be some evil message, and that was a YouTube test thing from wherever back. Oh god. Oh, old YouTube. Been in. Hi, Shrimp. Go away from the screen. It's my kind of music, never mind. Newgrounds. The fucking screamer, I saw that. I certainly saw that shit. YouTube poop core, yeah, for real, that's what that was. Alrighty, is that it? Nope. Of course it's not it. The demons are still here. They live forever in your skull. The spirits from a bottle of alcohol. Fucking Chris. There he is again, the boiled one. Anomaly time, here we go. An attic experience. I'm going to turn this back up because I only turned it down because of Ramen's video being loud. Let's turn that back up.
When I was a little 6-year-old in 1988, my parents and I would frequently visit my aunt's house.
Here we are.
Every weekend, we spent our time there.
And I'll
It
move
was
my
a very
microphone to
big
be a little
house,
closer to my
and
face,
though
too. It was
quite
kind of
old,
facing
with
away.
wooden floors that creaked with every step and very tall rooms, for me and my imagination, it was like a castle. Besides, my aunt had inherited a ridiculous amount of paintings from my grandmother, which she had painted herself, and they were scattered throughout the hallways of the house. My parents used to take me to the attic where my aunt had boxes and boxes of toys. She had set up the place a bit to make a pretty comfortable and colorful playroom for me.
That was a really
One of
strange
those
AI
weekends,
voice.
I decided to go up by myself. I remember perfectly that you got there by following the right wing of the house, passing through a room that was always unoccupied, and from there, stairs led straight to the attic on the 3rd floor. There was a very large TV there that I had never turned on because it was supposedly broken. In front of it was a rocking chair where I used to place some dolls and bigger toys. I noticed
I like the
that
sketches, they
time
look really
the door
nice.
where my aunt kept the boxes of toys was open, and some of them were scattered on the floor as if someone had dropped them. I also noticed, but didn't pay much attention to it, that the rocking chair was slightly rocking. I just wanted to get the train set. I loved assembling the pieces and could spend hours playing just with that. However, I remember that day I couldn't find the rest of the train cars, so I went into the room where I thought they would be. I spent a good while there without finding them. I tried to force open a latch that led to a small hatch behind the wall. I don't remember well if I broke it, but whatever I did made me hide that hatch with the boxes and return to the playroom. At that moment, I found myself facing the rocking chair, which was now levitating much closer to the television.
Well, that's terrifying.
It was floating not too high, but definitely off the ground. Being a very quiet and shy child, I didn't dare to scream or say anything. I just went downstairs, and from that day on, every time we visited my aunt, I would tell her I wanted to spend more time with her playing
Also, if you
in the
like
living
curious
room.
stuff like this, be sure you're
Years
subscribed to
passed.
Heretic Network for every
Several
Wednesday
years.
will be Wednesday, my
I was
dudes,
about
at
23
9 p.m.
years
Eastern
old,
Time. Me and
and
Porky
while
and
talking with
Genova
this
sometimes
same
too,
aunt
when he has
about
the time
ghost
too.
stories
We'll be
and
doing in Erie
paranormal
hours,
events,
so be sure to tune
I
for them.
remembered that incident in her attic. It was the first time I told her. As I was recounting what happened, she looked at me with a very calm expression, as if she already knew all the details. And she was right. She told me that when she acquired the house, one of the reasons she got it at a relatively low price was because a very young woman had died in the attic due to marital problems.
Oops.
They found that young woman exactly where my aunt stored the toy boxes. The body was hanging from a beam. Although
Damn.
my aunt never believed in ghosts or things like that, she mentioned that sometimes she had felt and heard strange things inside the house. One of the reasons she adapted the attic for her children and me to play in was because she thought that if she made the place one of joy and color, she wouldn't have to pass by it remembering what had happened before she arrived. Regarding the rocking chair, my aunt said she never saw it move, but she did hear from the first floor the sound of someone walking towards the television, turning it on and sitting back down. It was a very subtle noise, so much so that she often thought it might be her imagination.
Or a
However,
demon.
Even though she was very skeptical, she never closed off the possibility that some kind of spirit might still be living up there.
Oh, Hatman
When we
time.
were kids, my brother and I slept in the same room in a bunk bed. Since I was a lot bigger and heavier, I always slept on the bottom. Both of us remember
Fatty.
that night to this day, which could be explained by the fact that we've mentioned it so many times in private conversations. I don't dismiss the idea that we might be reinforcing an invented story born from the fear we felt at that moment. But you know, there's always the chance it was real. That night, around 1 or 2 in the morning, a noise in the house woke me up. Maybe my mom dropped something in the kitchen since she often stayed up late. In our room, at the foot of the bed, there was a large window where the light from a street lamp across the street always came in. Since this happened in the summer and we didn't have air conditioning, we usually left the curtains open and only covered the window with a sheer curtain. So we had to fall asleep facing
Well, that
the
was your
wall,
first
where it
mistake,
was
because that's how
always
the
dark.
demons get in.
When I woke up, I swear there was a shadow person at the foot of the bed.
Not Hat Man.
I could clearly see the outline
It's like
of
a
the
fucking
figure
robber.
contrasted against the illuminated sheer curtain behind him. He was pitch black, deep, and although he stayed still, his body moved slightly, as if swelling with breath. He also wore a hat, not the old-fashioned kind of elegant gentleman, but a baseball cap. Additionally, and this might be
Still
more
doesn't look like he's wearing a hat, looks like
imagination
he's wearing
since
a
it was dark
hood.
in the room, I remember seeing him holding a lumberjack's axe. It was quite long, crossing his torso. I stayed there staring at him, terrified, frozen from the shock. A few seconds passed, which felt like minutes to me, and the shadow man moved towards me. He stopped a few inches from me, and with a deep, rough voice, simply said,
"I'll wait for you and the others one day."
That's creepy.
Hearing that, I turned and hid under the blankets. I didn't know what else to do. A while passed until I heard my brother's trembling voice say, "Did you see it too?" I told him I did, and we both stayed silent and eventually fell back asleep. To this day, we still don't understand the phrase, but I find it incredibly curious that we both heard the same thing. Something that goes far beyond a simple coincidence.
We're gonna see a mantis now?
For the past 3 months, specifically every Monday night, I've seen a human-sized praying mantis appear in my bedroom. It's a sort
Oh,
of
God.
anthropomorphic creature, as I perceive certain behaviors
terrifying,
typical
Art.
of a human being. This story began after my daughter's birthday party. It was a Monday when we spent the whole day preparing to surprise her in the evening. Many friends and family came over. We set up inflatable games in the yard, so you can imagine how tired I was before going to
Bounce
bed.
house?
Because of my wife's job, which involves night shifts at the hospital, I often sleep alone on some nights of the week. That night, I saw the praying mantis for the first time. Due to the exhaustion, I don't have many memories, but the next day I was sure it had been some kind of dream or something. Anyway, I saw that creature standing there, staring intently at the door, without doing anything else. The matter was inconsequential until the following week when it reappeared. It was around 3 in the morning and I was struggling to sleep, so I turned on the TV. After a few minutes, I decided to turn it off. When the room was dark, barely lit by the moonlight, I saw the same creature in a corner. For the next 4 Monday nights, whenever the praying mantis appeared, a sense of drowsiness would take over me within seconds of seeing it, and I would fall asleep instantly. It wasn't until one night that an exception occurred, and upon seeing it, I didn't fall asleep. Apparently, this was one of
More
the worst
terrifying
things that
art of
could have
giant
happened to
mantis.
me. In a way, I can't explain.
I don't think mantis are
I felt
creepy on
that
their
the
own. It's
praying
just
mantis
having
realized I
human-sized
was
mantis
watching
is
it.
kind of terrifying to
And
think
unlike
about.
before, it turned and stared at me. But more than just looking, I felt it was examining me with its eyes. Its movements were as if it were trying to confirm if I was really seeing it. When I said it had human behaviors, I specifically meant that its gaze and its pacing around the room were very similar to when someone tries to go unnoticed. The last night I saw it, the same thing happened. But this time, it waved one of its arms, and with a voice I thought I heard only in my head, it said exactly this:
Oh no.
"Everything will be fine, although you shouldn't see or remember me." After saying that, I noticed the mantis continued to watch me with a certain wariness. as if it wasn't entirely sure if I had heard its message or if I had understood it. Since that night, every time I go to sleep, insomnia keeps me awake for at least an hour.
Holy shit, that art.
After this, a drowsiness and fatigue take over me with the same intensity and speed as when general anesthesia is applied. It's almost as if something is forcing me to sleep against my will. I've come to think that I might be a victim of nocturnal abductions. If you'd like early access to my
There we
YouTube
go.
videos,
Let's keep moving on.
you can support me with
You
just
laugh, you die. Here we are.
The carpet beneath my feet was soaked in the blood, the mulch of the other contestants. Calm down. I shook my head and I took a deep breath. I'm different. Nothing ever makes me laugh.
Oh boy.
I'm not afraid of the funniest
Could be
in the
toilet.
world. Try all you want to crack me.
Oh, I thought I got like banged on the screen. There we go. Oh boy.
Applause all around me. The show was about to begin. I muttered under my breath. I was ready. On stage, a figure was suddenly illuminated by a spotlight.
Oh boy. Oh,
he stepped
memes.
forward.
It's
gave me a
Megamind?
little wave. I'm Comedy Man.
I'm coming. It's fucking Megamind.
This is Piss
God.
Routine.
Piss routine. Oh god, look who it is. Yep. Dead. Murdered. Alright. Strug, you sent this in.
Oh, that was close. That
Hey,
was close.
Sash.
That was close.
I'm
That was
sorry.
close.
Got the nutcracker.
Beautiful.
Yippee! Uh-oh.
What the heck? He took his
He's taking his
bullet!
dead body.
You can
Wow.
have it. I think that's fair. They'll probably give him a funeral.
Yeah,
or
They'll give him a
something.
funeral.
Honestly, he needs
So,
that.
do
I'll play a song for you.
Oh boy.
Here
Sorry.
lies the bug. I understand.
God.
This yippee bug deserved more.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. But I did do it. But I didn't do it. Hi, Sash. Wanna
Wasn't
jump
me.
up? You just clean yourself? What's going on?
We leave him. We leave
We
him.
leave him.
We must
It
go.
was.
It's not worth it. It's
Hi,
not worth
Sash.
it.
Alright, Ron, you did send this in, and you said subtitles needed, so give me 1 second. I gotta do that. I think I'm gonna be terrified by this, by the way. Subtitles, captions, English. Thank you. Alright, they're there. So let's play it. Here we go. Oh, I didn't do it here, though, too. Captions, English. Okay. My bigger screen.
Twardoch w piwnicy.
In the cellar.
Chłopcy mieszkają w dużym parterowym domu. Mają wszystko, co powinni mieć chłopcy. Mamę, tatę, zabawki, samochodziki. 7 i 3 lata. Dużo czasu na zabawę i głupie obowiązki, jak sprzątanie zabawek i samochodzików przed spaniem. I na imię Franek i Jaś, odpowiednio do lat. Tata chłopców lubi żartować. Gdzie jest mój czerwony samochód? Ta straż pożarna, pyta
I'm
Franek.
already
W
terrified.
piwnicy, odpowiada tata, nawet nie podnosząc wzroku z nad komputera, telefonu albo, najrzadziej, książki. Tata, przecież my nie mamy piwnicy, śmieje się Franek. To prawda, w domu chłopców nie ma piwnicy. Dom ma dopiero rok i chłopcy widzieli, jak był budowany.
Has no face.
Wielka betoniarka przyjechała i wlała wielką płytę z betonu. Płasko, żadnej piwnicy. Och, to prawda, nie mamy piwnicy. Nie posiadamy jej. Ona po prostu tam jest, mówi tata głosem, którego używa, kiedy chce być tajemniczy i trochę straszny. Albo kiedy mówi coś ważnego. Franek nie pyta dalej. Wie już, że tato nie ma pojęcia, gdzie jest czerwony samochodzik. Tata nigdy nie ma o niczym pojęcia. Trzeba było zapytać mamę. Mama wie wszystko, co ważne. Samochodzik i tak się znajdzie, prędzej czy później. Samochodziki zawsze się znajdują, o ile nie pożre ich lew, który podąża za Jasiem. Tak przynajmniej twierdzi Jaś, że podąża za nim lew. Franek nigdy go nie widział, ale jest już na tyle duży, aby wiedzieć, że istnieje wiele rzeczy, których nie widać, a już na pewno nie widać ich na pierwszy rzut oka. I wie, że za Jasiem podąża lew, którego nie widać. A lew ryczący krąży i patrzy, kogo by pożreć. Mówi czasem tato, kiedy Jaś pokazuje, gdzie lew jest. Lew zły?
I see, Robin.
Nie, odpowiada ze złością Jaś. Ale tata wie swoje, tata zawsze wie swoje. Tata wie swoje, mama wie to, co ważne, a Jaś wie, kim naprawdę jest lew. Franek, zasypiając, zastanawia się, czy piwnica jest, czy jej nie ma. Żarty taty są zwykle o tym, czego nie ma, ale czasem tato w dziwny sposób mówi o tym, co w dziwny sposób jest. Franek budzi się w nocy. Nasłuchuje. Franek wie, jak nasłuchiwać. Cisza. Wszyscy śpią. Wszyscy. Franek uważa, że będzie dobrze poszukać czerwonego samochodziku, kiedy wszyscy śpią. Kiedy ludzie nie śpią, to swoim niespaniem zasłaniają rzeczy. Franek wychodzi z łóżka, schodzi po drabince i staje na puchatej, miękkiej wykładzinie.
Terrifying.
Wychodzi na korytarz. W prawo. Drzwi do łazienki. Otwiera. Tam, gdzie była łazienka, są schody. W dół. Betonowe. Franek waha się, lecz po chwili tego wahania schodzi. Schodzi, ponieważ nigdy tam nie był. Jest boso. Stopami czuje na schodach chropowatą fakturę, jakby szedł po zimnych deskach. Schody się kończą. Długi korytarz. Drzwi stalowe po obu stronach. Pierwsze, drugie, trzecie i czwarte, piąte i szóste i koniec korytarza. Franek kładzie rękę na klamce ostatnich drzwi po lewej. Jest gorąca. Chciałby zobaczyć, co jest za drzwiami, ale się boi, nie otwiera. Wraca na górę, do swojego pokoju.
Skeleton!
Spać i śni mu się betonowa piwnica pod domem. Mamy piwnicę, tata miał rację, mówi przy śniadaniu. Jak to? Pyta mama. Byłem tam w nocy, bardzo się bałem, odpowiada Franek. Widzisz? Mama zwraca się do taty. Widzisz? Mówiłam, tak się kończą twoje głupie żarty. Chłopak ma koszmary. Tata mówi coś wyraźnie zmartwiony, ale Franek nie słucha. Był rano sprawdzić. W miejscu łazienki jest łazienka, nie schody. Franek jest zdziwiony. To był sen, śniło mi się, myśli. Jednak kolejnej nocy budzi się znowu. Zagląda do pokoju Jasia,
That skeleton, it's me!
rodziców. Wszyscy śpią. Otwiera drzwi do łazienki. Schody. Schodzi więc w dół, skoro są schody, ale na ostatnim schodku potyka się. Upada i zdziera kolano i dziurawi spodnie od piżamy.
Start is
Mama
very,
będzie
very
kręcić
surreal.
nosem, myśli. A potem zaraz, nie, przecież to tylko sen. Rano nic nie będzie widać. Wstaje. Za drzwiami słyszy jakiś ruch, jakieś szuranie. Bardzo się boi, bardziej niż wczoraj. Przypomina sobie, to tylko sen. Podchodzi do pierwszych drzwi, naciska klamkę, pcha, ciągnie, jednak drzwi nie ustępują. Zamknięte na klucz. Kolejne tak samo. I kolejne, jednak ostatnie po lewej okazują się być otwarte. Za drzwiami jest pokój, cały z betonu. W pokoju pali się naga żarówka i stoi wąskie, skromne łóżko. Biała pościel. W łóżku ktoś śpi. Franek podchodzi, żeby zobaczyć, kto to. W łóżku śpi Franek. Drugi Franek, taki sam jak Franek. Pierwszy Franek bardzo się boi. Chce się już obudzić, myśli. Szczypie się w udo. Nie budzi się. Dotyka więc ramienia drugiego Franka. Drugi Franek budzi się od razu, nagle, otwiera oczy i krzyczy. Krzyczy tak przerażony, jakby zobaczył potwora. Pierwszy Franek też jest przerażony, więc ucieka na górę do swojego pokoju, zakopuje się w pościeli i chciałby, żeby ten sen już się skończył. Nasłuchuje, czy ktoś za nim
Bleeding
idzie.
mustard!
Budzi się rano, otwiera oczy, wychyla się ze swojego wysokiego łóżka. Wszystko wygląda normalnie. Jest wcześnie, wszyscy jeszcze śpią. Franek oddycha z ulgą. Jeszcze łazienka. Idzie do łazienki, za drzwiami łazienki łazienka. Nie schody. Ulga. Jednak w lustrze Franek widzi coś, co sprawia, że cały lodowacieje ze strachu. Zdarte kolano, rozdarte spodnie od piżamy. Biegnie do sypialni rodziców. Mamo, tato, krzyczy przerażony. Ta piwnica naprawdę istnieje. Byłem tam w nocy. Myślałem, że to sen. To na pewno był sen, uspokaja Franka mama. Nie, płacze Franek. Zdarłem sobie kolano w tym śnie, obudziłem się i dalej było zdarte. Byłem tam. I otwarłem drzwi i tam był taki chłopczyk jak ja. Rodzice już nie śpią. Patrzą na siebie, są bardzo zasmuceni. Pójdę zobaczyć, co u Jaśka, mówi tata dziwnym głosem. Bardzo smutnym. Mama kryje twarz w dłoniach. Nic nie rozumie. Tata wraca zaraz. Jasiek śpi, Lew też. Mówiłem ci, że wybraliśmy nie tego, co trzeba. Nie mów tak, płacze mama. Franek nic nie rozumie. Mówiłem, wybraliśmy tego, który znajdzie drzwi. W końcu znajdzie, mówiłem ci. Ale ty chciałeś tego, bo był najbystrzejszy. No to masz swojego mądrale. Franek nic nie rozumie, ale bardzo, bardzo się boi. Musimy go wymienić, mówi tata i bierze Franka za rękę. Bierze za rękę zupełnie inaczej niż brał Franka za rękę do tej pory. Nie, płacze mama. Proszę, nie. Ja też tego nie chcę, ale nie ma wyjścia. Teraz ja wybiorę. A lew? Pyta mama. Nic mi do tego, odpowiada tata. Franek boi się tak bardzo, że czuje, że spodnie od piżamy robią się mokre i ciepłe. Franek płacze. Tata ciągnie go za rękę i idą. Idą do drzwi do łazienki. Tata otwiera je i za drzwiami są schody. Schodzą na dół. Czekaj tutaj. Tata zastanawia się chwilę. Które drzwi były otwarte? Pyta surowym głosem. Franek za bardzo się boi, żeby się odezwać. Które? Krzyczy tata wściekłym głosem. Franek drży, ale pokazuje palcem. Ostatnie po lewej. Tata kręci głową, wyciąga z kieszeni piżamy klucz, podchodzi do drzwi, zagląda do środka, jakby chciał się upewnić, czy wszystko w porządku, po czym drzwi starannie zamyka i przekręca klucz w zamku i upewnia się, czy są zamknięte. Będę musiał założyć zasówki, mruczy pod nosem. Zastanawia się chwilę ponownie. Franek stoi jak sparaliżowany i płacze bezgłośnie. Tata otwiera drzwi, drugie po lewej. Wchodzi do środka. Po chwili jest już na zewnątrz. Za rękę trzyma chłopczyka. Chłopczyk wygląda jak Franek, dokładnie jak pierwszy Franek. Ma błędny wzrok, jakby nie do końca się obudził. To trzeci Franek. Właź tam, mówi tato złym głosem do pierwszego Franka. Franek się boi, więc tata bierze go za ramiona, wpycha do betonowej celi i zamyka za nim drzwi. Franek wyje z przerażenia. Tata przekręca klucz w zamku.
Okay then. That was something. Thank you, Ramen. Moving on. Chat with AIM. Strong from the sun.
Wide World of Web.
Welcome.
I'm your host, Smithers O'Neill. And on today's episode, we're going to learn how to chat with friends on AOL Instant Messenger.
Wow.
Let's fire up AIM, shall we? If you want to speed up your connection, make sure your phone lines aren't busy. Talk to you later, Mother. There's other hot singles waiting to chat. Now let's check out the buddy list. Here, we'll find plenty of candidates for conversation. Oh, my friend Nicholas is on. Let's open up a chat with him. Sup, Nick? How are you? Haven't seen you on EverQuest lately. Now, I know what you're thinking. Smithers, you should dip your fingers in acid for typing such low IQ grammar. This vernacular creates a casual tone that's sure to make many friends instantly. Nicholas appears to be spending most of his time with females and is comparing my qualities to that of an insect. Huh. A girl I've never interacted with has just messaged me. What should we do now? A. Tell Nicholas he isn't the only ladies' man in town. B. Ask for a picture to prove she's not ugly. C. Confirm she's not a minor or grown man in disguise. Option C is clearly the most tactful of the three, so we'll start by asking her age, sex, and location.
That's right.
Let's see her GeoCities here.
Wow.
Fanfiction writer, huh? Wild.
Looks like Boxy.
We can catch up with Nicholas later. I love Sailor Moon fanfic. I'll be your #1 fan. It's important to use abbreviated lingo when IMing. LOL here stands for laugh out loud. Although I'm not literally laughing, I like to imagine it's echoing through the chambers of my mind.
Terrifying.
Don't have anyone to play with, huh? Time to send a spicy message. Well, I can be your dungeon master in more ways than one.
Wow.
The bravest warriors face adversities. Well, it's been an entire 5 minutes and she hasn't responded.
Wow.
What should we do now? A. Call her a bitch. B. Professor Undying Love. C. Give her a little nudge. A little nudge couldn't hurt. Option C it is.
Yep. Pokes you with his long
Guess
sword.
a little more couldn't hurt.
Wow, oh no. Oh no, no, no. Wow.
Well, we certainly can't end on that note. Much
Wow.
An away message. This is an automatic response you can customize when you set yourself as away. If this is directed at what I said, I'm going to bang my head on my keyboard. We need a healthy distraction, which should be easy with today's sponsor, Incogni.
Actual
As you
sponsor.
explore the wide world of web, your personal info is being collected and traded by data brokers. This is why you'll get all kinds of weird spam emails.
You've got mail.
Or why you'll get annoying pop-up ads related to your searches.
Grow penis.
But with Incogni, that's all a thing of the past. It holds a gun up to those shady data dealers and says, heck no, pal, blasting away your private information from their records. Over time, you'll experience a much more private internet, one that isn't force-feeding you ads for penis bills. I've got Incogni to thank for that. So use my code SkyCorp at incogni.com/SkyCorp and get an exclusive 60% off the annual plan. Just enter SkyCorp at checkout.
The fuck? Yeah, she's not happy about your messages.
WTF stands for, what the fuck? Or as I like to say, well, that's fucked.
Well, that's fucked. Well, you did fuck it up. I felt the exact same way. Oh, wow. You know what that means, right? Time to put the ring on it. Marriage first. Yeah, till death do us part. So if you even think of leaving me, oh, she's crazy! I'll literally chop your dick off! She's insane! Oh boy, I'm not even kidding. I know where you live. Oh shit! Oh, he found it crazy, but he's crazy too. Oh, he's terrified. Oh shit, dog.
Close the door on this virtual friendship. But how do we do that and avoid a murder-suicide? Well, look no further than the block button.
Oh no, well that ain't gonna save you. She knows your address, brah.
Oh, already somebody new to chat with.
Her, you dumb shit. Oh, he's fucked.
This leaves us with two options. A. Tell her you're a homosexual. B. Take their hand in marriage. Well, dying a virgin isn't in the books for me, so we'll have to give love a fighting chance.
Oh my god. Jesus' name.
Very own away message. And just like that, we are away. Permanently. Lila,
Really?
the stalker that she is, will find my page updated with the tragic news of my passing. You see, while buying her a very expensive diamond ring, I was caught in the middle of a jewelry heist and
He faked his death.
valiantly refusing to hand it over. While she mourns my death, I'll be off using a different screen name, finding her a shoulder to cry on.
Get really crazy.
On AIM. From starting conversations to ending them.
This bitch is crazy. She knows where I fucking live. Unless you
You can always count on interesting
He
conversations
fucked his
here in
friend
the wild
up.
world of
What a douche. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that, Shrug. Moving on. Oh, boy. No, thanks for this, Ramen.
And today I want to talk about
Alright,
curse
Dr.
removal
Chris,
because I'm
Ghost
getting a lot of
Doctor.
questions on,
Oh,
if
Jesus,
you have
Chris.
a medallion, a Sonic 2 medallion, how do you remedy that situation? How do you get rid of this curse? So the best way and most effective way is to throw the item away, get it out of your house.
Have it now!
If this thing had
Got it from Mudahar or whatever.
or like a Tulpa like energy attached
Tulpa
to it, that's
energy?
causing havoc
Fuck
on an
off.
unseen level that you can't see. Just get it out of your house. It causes chaos
Ghost
once it's
Doctor.
there, and once it's in your house, it's gonna
You
plant
have
flag
it!
in your
You
house
have
and
it
start
now!
putting
What are you gonna
all
do
this
with it? Make your own little Zach
chaos
Baggins
that
museum?
ramps up. Now another
Lol
thing you
cow
don't wanna
shit?
do is destroy the item. Don't burn it. Don't break it. Don't whatever. Because if there's something attached to it, it breaks its hold on the entity.
You're gonna destroy it? I don't think that's gonna go well for you.
This is why the best example of this is if you've seen the Conjuring movie, the Annabelle doll. This thing has an attachment. Something is actually stuck. This is one of the classifications of spirits that have a stuck spirit, where it's physically or mentally stuck to an item. Once you break that item in their hold, it's free to do whatever it wants. But in this particular case, they have a priest come in, bless this item, and the reason it does that is so this entity attached to it can't get away. So it's forever locked to this doll. It can't get out, so which makes it even madder. So over time, it's just going to keep getting madder and madder. But it can't do anything because it's bound to this item. And if this Sonic Chew medallion thing, if that's the same thing that's going on with this thing, you don't want to break it. You just want to throw it away, get it out of your house, or if you want to keep it,
I think it's haunted by Chris's stank.
Incense,
not you, Chris. The other Chris. You know, Christina is how he likes to call himself now.
And it should remedy the situation and purify your home. So yeah, I have a service, GhostDrChris.com, where I.
Oh my God! Shut up!
Help people out that way. So those are some ways you can.
It's helpful as BetterHelp, I'm sure.
Of course, you have to turn to religion. You have to turn to religion because it's light. You know, it's a way of bringing light into your home, raising your vibration, and light.
Said raising, but it's not like you said raising your vibration. I don't want to riz my vibration.
And it works. It's like, there's something to this. What's the science behind it? And I kind of figured all that stuff out. So, all right. I hope that answers your question. I have some more things queued up that I want to talk about. So if you have further questions, please leave them in the comments box, and I'll get to them whenever I can.
Thanks for that, Robin.
My name is Peter Parker, and I've been given the gift
Strong
of
sent this in.
I found that fighting crime was getting in the way of my Twitch addiction, so I gave it up. Every day, I religiously watch my favorite streamer, Mary Jane Watson. Her content is a combination of thirst traps and mukbangs, sometimes both at the same time. My favorite part of every stream is when I donate, because then I get to see her face light up before she says her iconic catchphrase.
Thanks to WebSlinger69 for the donation, and remember, it's streaming time.
I even supported her through the cultural appropriation accusations that almost got her canceled. My dream is that one day I will be able to donate a sum of money so large that she will be forced to show romantic interest in me, or at the very least, send me a naked photograph. And today is the day where I'll be trying to make my dreams come true. My plan is to personally deliver her my largest donation yet.
Oh no.
Putting aside 50% of every paycheck I've made for the past year and a half in anticipation of this very moment. I've even gone through a course of laser eye surgery, anabolic steroids, and a enlargement operation in the hopes that she'll find me more attractive. Hello there, milady.
Do I know you?
Lady.
Not IRL, but I'm one of your biggest fans on Twitch.
Oh, not another Twitch loser.
My name's Peter Parker. I donate every chance I get.
Listen, if you want to take a photograph, it's $80. 90 if it's a selfie.
Photograph? No. I just wanted to give you a donation.
Oh, no.
A donation?
Listen, I've got $15,000 in cold, hard cash right here. And, maybe after I'm done giving it to you, we could maybe, I don't know, go for a coffee or something?
Look. Pedro, is it?
Peter.
Pedro, I appreciate the support, but I can't go for a coffee with you. I'm dating Dr. Disrespect now.
What? How?
What do you mean, how?
You're 18. You're way too old for him.
Oh, yeah. I made an agreement with him to take a cocktail of anti-aging compounds that will keep my physical age locked at 18 years and 1 second. Sure, it increases my chances for several cancers, but he's 6'8", so it's totally worth it.
I can't believe this.
But listen, you made all this effort, so I will take the $15,000.
It's unnerving watching them talk,
She
Master
took the money
Bob.
and walked away with her phone out. 10 seconds later, I got a notification saying she blocked me on Twitch.
That's rough, Pete.
All I
Bro,
wanted
Pete.
was one nude. Was that so much
A
to
nude.
ask?
Wait, all you wanted was one of her nudes?
Well, yeah.
Dude, she has an OnlyFans.
OnlyFans?
It's this app where people post naked pictures of themselves for money. Think about it kind of like a digital brothel, but without the
A
stigma.
brothel.
You could have just subscribed and saved yourself all of this trouble.
How much is
Forget
it
about
to
those
subscribe?
OnlyFans
Like
pimps.
$5 a month?
5 million?
No.
5,000?
Dollars, dummy.
500?
Literally just 5, Pete. $5.
Harry, are you telling me that I just gave a woman $15,000 in the hopes of a nude when I could have already gotten hundreds of them through an app for the price of a latte?
I think so, yes.
Will you excuse me for a moment?
No problem.
Front of a bus. Harry's face.
It's a
I
darn
forgot about
shame
that.
Poor boy's crush had an OnlyFans.
Nah, I'll be honest, she doesn't have an OnlyFans. I made the whole thing up just to fuck with him.
Oh my god, oh, what a terrible thing to do to someone.
Oh no, listen, mate, don't worry. It's just an innocent prank. He'll eventually realize that I was joking, and he'll be perfectly fine.
That same day.
Thanks to
Even supported cultural appropriation accusation.
Oh, not another Twitch loser.
I've got $15,000 in cold hard cash.
Dating Dr. Disrespect now.
All I wanted was one nude.
Dude, she has an OnlyFans.
How much is it to subscribe?
Literally just 5, Pete. $5.
Beautiful. Thank you, Strug, for that. Next, Dakota sent this in. True crime.
Hiking across the Canadian forest, a group of high school boys were on the verge of a mental breakdown. They had just spotted a DEA van stalking them in the woods, because inside these kids' backpacks was over 400 pounds of weed. You see, these weren't your average high schoolers.
boy.
These kids had a smuggling empire that had brought in 17,000 pounds of weed, and their parents would kill them if they ever found out. Undetected, the boys dropped to the floor to find a way around it. But Nate Norman, the leader of the group, shushed the others and flicked his night vision goggles to get a closer look, and began smirking at what he saw. These DEA agents they were so afraid of that could end everything that night were asleep in their van this entire time. And as the boys slipped by and made it home safely that night, Nate Norman, the leader of the group, had just made the easiest money he'd ever made in his life, $500,000. In 2001, two rival groups
right
of
back,
high school
chat.
nerds became the biggest drug smugglers in the United States, invading the DEA, FBI, and Border Patrol for years. They had smuggled in 17,000 pounds of weed, making $32 million. But through jealousy, betrayals, and shady deals, their empires would fall apart before any of them could legally drink. This is the true story of the nerdy teens who became drug kingpins. Now, Nate Norman wasn't exactly a criminal mastermind. As a broke 19-year-old high school dropout working at Pizza Hut living in his mom's basement in Idaho, the closest he'd ever gotten to organized crime was watching Scarface on cable. Because with no degree and a dead-end job, the American dream felt so far away for Nate Norman. Changed one day when Nate and his buddy Topher were smoking a J, flipping through Times magazine, and stumbled across a story that would change their lives forever. Canada had the best weed in the world, BC Buds, and smuggling BC Buds across the border? Oh, it's a $7 billion business. Wait a sec, Nate thought. Idaho's right next to the Canadian border. Now, while people knew Nate delivered pizzas around town, he also delivered sacks. Although Nate's prices were high and his bud quality sucked. But knowing that the best buds in the entire world were just a few hours away, oh, Nate could sell the hell out of it if he could just get his hands on it. So that's when he turned to Topher and said, we should become international drug smugglers. Now, while this idea of a criminal enterprise sounds great to a 19-year-old, a pound of weed costs money, and they were both broke. Pizza Hut didn't pay great, and Topher worked part-time at Castle Park. But Topher, believing in his best friend Nate, sold an old boat he had dragged out of the lake for $1,400. Assuming that was enough to buy a pound of
The weed,
the two
Jenny.
head on to Canada with what was their life savings. But after coasting through the checkpoint, they quickly realized Canada was not what they thought it was. See, High Times made it seem like people sold pounds of weed on the side of the road, but it really just looked like the US, except kilometers. What the fuck? So empty-handed, after hours of searching for a vendor, the two head into a Canadian bar to at least make the trip worthwhile. Maybe Nate's plan was too ambitious, he thought. It almost seemed too easy. But old man Frankie, a regular at the bar, gestured at the two Americans sticking out like sore thumbs. As Nate and Topher walked over to him, they said, could you help us procure a pound of flowers? 1 pound? Frankie said he had dozens, of Canada's finest, but it was all back at his apartment. And while Nate and Topher tried to contain their excitement, thinking this was their big connect for BC Buds, well, old man Frankie had just found his next victim. But inside his crappy apartment,
Boy.
the two realized Frankie actually seemed a bit sketch. But I mean, where else were they gonna go? They were desperate. How much cash you got? Frankie said.
Don't talk to Canadians. It's a trap.
1,400. Is that enough for a pound? That's perfect. That's exactly what a pound costs, Frankie said. But as Nate opened up the bag to get a whiff of those BC buds he had traveled all this way for, Frankie tells him that wouldn't be wise. I mean, they didn't want to get caught from the smell. So without even weighing, smelling, or barely even looking at it, the two hand over what was their life savings to a sketchy grandpa they just met at a seedy Canadian bar. And with the pound of BC buds in hand, they begin the hardest part now, trying to get home. Now, according to High Times, the Canadian border is 5 times longer.
God,
than
there's
Mexico,
Jack Black,
but
that
there's
piece of
no
shit.
fence. I mean, you walk in the woods, next thing you know, you crossed international lines. And while thousands of smugglers hid weed in horse
That is the
trailers,
actual border, it's
snowmobiles,
woods.
sailboats, hollowed out logs, hell, even underground tunnels, hiking weed across the border was just the easiest.
Keep that
But
in mind
also
when we eventually
riskiest.
take over
So
Canada.
The plan? Nate was gonna drive back home by himself, while Topher would smuggle their precious cargo, hiking 11 kilometers across the Canadian wilderness filled with bears by himself. Hours later, with dirt on his face, Topher saw his first sign of American civilization. Outback Steakhouse, where there's no rules. It's just right. With Nate parked outside, Topher hopped in for a celebratory smoke of their freshly smuggled BC buds. It seemed like the plan had worked. It had all gone well. But after the first hit, something was off. This wasn't the creme de la creme BC buds. No, Frankie had sold them Mexican brickweed at BC bud prices. Or in other words, this should have been $400 a pound, not $1,400. Frankie had sold them buds that were grown in Mexico, smuggled into the US, smuggled into Canada, and then smuggled back down to the United States. And that's when they learned you can't trust anyone in the game, including the ancients, the elderly, and the weak. But luckily enough, the weed drought in Idaho was so bad they could actually still make money on this. Nate hit up his
Yeah,
old
it's
friend
illegal in
Scuzz
fucking
to have him
Idaho.
sell it on the streets. And Scuzz was a connected dude, even at 18 years old. Selling it to every hood rat in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Days later, Scuzz came back with $2,800, double what they had bought it for. And with his business model proven to work, Nate turned to Topher and said, High Times was right. Why doesn't everyone do this? Because according to their calculations, Nate and Topher were shocked to find out they could make $3 million in just 14 months by doubling their money with every smuggling run. And to them, that seemed like enough. Because with $3 million in hand, the two could buy homes, start a business, and leave the game while they were ahead. Because when drug dealers get caught, it's always because they get too greedy and give themselves away, but that wasn't going to be them. They
True.
promised to themselves no guns, no girls, nothing flashy. But little did they know that
Boy.
once you're in the game, there's no easy exits. Because while the rewards are great, the risks are even greater.
Yes, they are.
1 pound became 2, became 4, became 8, and Nate was growing more comfortable driving thousands of dollars through the Canadian checkpoint, flashing a little disarming wave and a little lip smile. But today, as he coasted through the Canadian checkpoint driving the crest in Canada, Nate really thought about it. This was the ticket out for him. He didn't need college. Hell, with a few more smuggle runs, he could buy his mom a car, and if he found a good grower, Nate could make the big bucks. But then, in his rearview mirror, he spotted those Canadian red and blue lights. Sirens grew louder. Nate Norman was getting pulled over by the cops. With American license plates, he knew he stuck out like a sore thumb. As the Mountie parked
For
his car
thick
and stepped out,
goth
every
girls.
step he took, Nate could only
What's a
think about
goth?
how more he was. But as he rolled down his window, the Mountie said, "So, hey, you guys smuggling?" "Well, because you're not going to get any flour going to Creston. It's a bunch of loggers. You need to go to Nelson."
What?
"Okay, this is a little warning." Yeah. Getting let off the hook and even a tip on where to find the holy grail of BC buds, Nate was totally wrong. Canada was way different than the United States. Now, bigger than tourism, logging, hell, even maple syrup. In 2001, BC Buds was a $7 billion a year business in Canada, and Nelson was the capital of it. But why? Well, Canada had some of the most relaxed bud laws in the world at the time.
I generally feel there's a slightly more humanitarian government around here. It's not into putting people away for the rest of their life for their choice of herbs.
And hydroponics
It's about killing
stores
them,
that
though.
sold tomato growing equipment sprawled all around the city, and the result was the golden age of BC buds that were sought all around the world. And for Nate, this is what High Times was talking about. So walking into several Canadian hydroponic stores, Nate
Trailer Park
finally
Boys there.
found the real BC bud growers that could get him the product to bring down serious weight to the United States. And for Nate, the money would begin pouring in, while millions of Americans were just baked out of their minds with cottonmouth. But not anymore with today's sponsor, Arup. Arup.
Damn it, Dakota, it's a commercial.
It's a completely new way of drinking. It adds flavor to the water through the power of scent, and this thing is fire. Now, when I first tried this thing tripped me out because it tastes like it's flavored water, but you don't actually put anything in the water. So how does it work? Using the flavored scent pods that come in 15 flavors. You fill up the Arup bottle with any type of water, pull up the pod to activate. Now I got raspberry lemon water on the go that tastes great with 0 calories.
I tried this though, by the way.
There's no tablets, there's no powder to put in, meaning
it's interesting.
Clean this thing with the bristle, trying to get all inside. No, it's just good to go all the time. No joke, ever since I got this, I've already dusted an entire pack of these in about a week. Yeah, I would say I like this a lot, actually. So, get yourself an Arup bottle, get yourself some flavored pods, and see which one's your favorite, because I'm loving the raspberry lemon. On a typical run, Nate and Topher waited until dark and drove within a mile of the border on a remote access road, where Topher, dressed in all camo, would leap out and disappear into the trees. But instead of Nate driving the money over the border, Topher was carrying a hockey bag stuffed with cash for over 7 miles, would exchange with the growers directly in Canada, head back down to America. While back in the States, he would hand the bag off to Nate, who would hand it off to Scuzz, who would hand it off to hundreds of dealers. And for all of this, Topher made $1,000 with each run, while Nate by this point had pocketed over $150 grand, more money than he'd ever seen in his lifetime. You see, BC buds were in demand, and Nate's operation needed to expand. With serious money coming in, the boys got serious about their methods. Topher hired friends from high school to help him run since these hauls were too heavy for just one dude. By now, it was 6 Toyota 4Runners filled with runners that would head towards the border drop point where they would all change in the camo, slip out into the trees carrying hockey bags full of cash, up to 400 grand. Now, while months earlier they all said they wouldn't be flashy with their money, slowly they all began to get the things they had always wanted. 4-wheelers, jet skis, plasma screen TVs, mini disc players, whatever they got, it was the most expensive version of it. Scuzz moved out of his mom's basement and told her he was renting a little crappy apartment, but in reality, he bought a lakeside home. Nate began throwing elaborate lingerie parties, inviting half of the town nearly every other week. And while as the boss, Nate should have been keeping tabs on who was too loud, well, Nate was actually the worst offender. Nate bought himself an 8-bedroom mansion, several stash houses, an Escalade with 24-inch rims, diamond chains, gats and straps, and 8 balls of nose candy. And like most drug dealers, became convinced he would become a rapper, so he bought studio time with his drug money. But not all was wild. Nate had found a lovely girlfriend that he had met at a church event. Just kidding, she was a stripper, and her name was Buffy. And Nate showered her with all of the jewelry, Gucci bags, trips to Cabo. And as foolish as it was to draw all of this attention to himself, Nate had just never been cool in his life. He just couldn't resist it. While his high school friends used to call him the Keebler elf growing up, those same friends were now working for Nate. But when Nate's mom asked him where he was getting all of this cash from, well, he told her it was his snowplow business. And then bought her a lakeside home, and she never asked again. You see, Nate had been a paper boy, a telemarketer, cashier, pizza man, but he learned that the only get-rich-quick scheme that actually works in this world is selling drugs, and Nate was damn good at it. A year later, the crew had swelled to 32 people, and they're moving thousands of pounds all over the country. Nate's janky operation? Nah, it transformed into a well-oiled machine. But even then, they still had problems. One night, the runners walked into DEA agents sleeping in their truck in the forest. On a 14-below winter night, they'd lost sight of the trail and nearly froze to death in the dark. Now, the drive home was arguably the riskiest part of the entire run. So Nate began rigging all of the 4Runners with explosives, so if they ever got pulled over by the American cops, they could just set the weed on fire. You see, the stakes were high because getting caught now meant a couple years in prison. I mean, this is 2002 after all. But to calm the runners' anxiety over moving thousands of pounds of buds across the country committing federal felonies, Nate Pinky promised them that if they ever were arrested, just give him a call from the jail, he would pay for their bail and their attorneys, and it would all be good. But Topher grew nervous with this flashy lifestyle and growing operation. He begged Nate to get out of the game, but Nate joked he would never stop until the cops got him, because in his mind, he could just pay for the best attorneys to get him out. So why not go hard? Because that
take that money, dipshit.
Nah, that's what Nate now made in a month. So to shut Topher up, he raised his pay to $8,000 a run, locking his best friend, the guy that had helped him start this entire thing, in golden handcuffs. But Topher's fears almost came true when a fight broke out over a girl at a 150-person party the crew was hosting. One of Nate's dealers shot a gun in the air to break up the fight, but nobody even heard it. So Nate, plastered as hell, shot off a .45 Magnum into the house. The crowd began screaming, everyone scattered, the neighbors called the cops, cars sped off and crashed into the fences, and Scuzz got pulled over on his way home with 20 grand in his pocket, nearly peeing in his pants. The cops,
hey Sash.
And then the next night, they threw another party at the same house, equally as crazy. See, they felt invincible. They were rich. They were cool. And by now, the cops
Yes, I see you,
didn't know
Sash.
about their operation or just didn't even care. In Nate's eyes, nobody had gotten hurt. Nobody had gotten caught. Maybe this could just go on forever. At 3 a.m., Nate gets a frantic call. Scuzz was robbed by 3 masked men. They broke inside of his home, held him at
Oh, shit,
gunpoint,
dog.
and wanted to know where was the cash and the buds, or else one of the burglars, Giovanni, was gonna chop his finger off. Now, for Scuzz, handing them 40 grand in cash and a couple pounds in buds wasn't the end of the world, but Nate had seriously ruffled someone's feathers because they knew not just what they were up to, but also where they lived. Now, Nate Norman wasn't the only teenager in Idaho who had an enterprise of smuggling in BC buds. Nicknamed Wang, he was born in Korea and adopted by insurance executives in Idaho. And Wang had grown up with the perfect life. He played the violin, honorable student, but at 17 years old, the kid broke bad. See, Wang began running his own wildly successful bud smuggling operation, transforming from the Kumon kid into a wankster driving an Eldorado lowrider, popping oxys and snorting yay all day long. In many ways, Wang was a lot like Nate, a nerdy teen who just grew into a drug kingpin, but he was also Nate's polar opposite. You see, Wang wasn't satisfied in pulling in millions with his friends. Hell no. He wanted the whole market. Now, Nate knew of Wang and other dealers in town, but figured there was so much money in the game that everyone could eat good. But no, Wang's thriving business had been falling apart since Nate's arrival, and Wang was growing desperate to gain back his market share. Sniffling his nose after racking a couple lines,
Oh, God.
Wang called up his old roommate Giovanni for a little job proposal, a hit job, to take out Nate Norman, promising to pay $100,000 for the job with a $5,000 down payment up front that he would get him later. Giovanni, a dude who had never committed a crime in his life, said why not? So Giovanni called his friends and headed to the Kmart to buy supplies for the hit job. A tarp, gloves, windbreakers. Wang gave him a couple handguns and for good measure, a knife as well, since Giovanni thought, well, you can't have fingerprints if you don't have fingers. Now, Wang figured it'd be a really simple job. To exonerate himself on the night of the hit, he threw himself an alibi party to be seen by as many people as not murdering Nate. But instead of Giovanni doing the hit that night, they broke into Scuzz's apartment, stealing the pounds of bud and $40K in cash, because Giovanni still hadn't received that $5,000 down payment yet. So we thought, why not make some extra money robbing Nate's crew first and then murdering Nate? Makes sense. Now, when Nate heard about Scuzz's robbery, he figured it was the cartel or maybe some other gangbangers in town, but he didn't even realize he was in a turf war with the only other nerdy kingpin in town.
God.
For the first time, Nate was truly spooked. He moved out of his house. He rented another one across town. He started sleeping with the loaded handgun under his pillow. And Nate would try to lay low the rest of that summer, moving in with Buffy. But after breaking both of his arms flipping over his dirt bike, Nate developed a serious addiction to painkillers. And even worse, Buffy couldn't even take care of him because she'd gotten a boob job. Nate was living in fear, addicted to painkillers, and worst of all, his girlfriend had really big boobs. On November 13, 2002, a lumberjack discovers a murdered boy in the forest. Now, police identify the boy as Brendan Butler. Brendan's parents were in shock. They told the cops he had played the violin. He was an honor roll student, a traditional good boy. I mean, who the hell would end his life? But digging further, the cops discover Brendan Butler lived a double life. Under the nickname of Wang, he was a big-time dealer of buds all over the United States.
Got.
And his #1 business rival was Nate Norman. Now, when the headlines broke of Wang's death, Nate told his crew, who was questioning him about it, that he had no involvement in it. But I mean, who really knew at this point? Nate had transformed from a pizza delivery driver living in his mom's basement to a kingpin with a smuggling empire that even the cartel was jealous of. It just didn't seem out of the question that Nate could be involved, but Nate was having bigger problems to fry. Now, that month, some of Nate's dealers got picked up by the cops who found cash, drugs, and guns on him. Now, from jail, the dealers took their customary one phone call, and that's when the cops heard them saying, "Tell Nate, I'm in jail." The DEA, the FBI, and Homeland Security now knew that Nate Norman was the guy behind this entire operation. But what happened to Wang, or Brendan Butler? Now, you see, Wang had no idea his own hitmen were pissed off at him. He was so coked out and on drugs, he literally forgot he owed them money. So withholding that $5,000 for months, Wang took Giovanni and his crew to the forest where he wanted Nate's body to be buried when the murder was done. Now there, Giovanni asked him again for the down payment. Wang said, "Don't worry about it, bro." Giovanni got pissed. Wang told him to chill out. Giovanni grabbed Wang by the neck, squeezing harder and harder. Wang, hardly able to talk, begged for his life. But Giovanni did not know how to stop what he had started. Choking Wang to death, Gio slashed his throat to hide the fingerprints, took the cash on him, and left Wang's body on the exact spot that Nate's body was supposed to be. But now with the body being found and the murder and the fingers and the money, Nate knew it was probably time to step out of the game. Now, with the heat on Nate's crew thinking that he could be responsible for Wang's murder, all of the runners would meet at a stash house at dawn to pack up all of their things and skip out of town. But instead, when they got there, they kicked around, smoking weed, reminiscing on the good times. And then right then and there, across 4 states, serving 6 warrants, the FBI arrested runners, managers, dealers, everyone, except for Nate Norman. You see, while the cops had been tracking Nate Norman ever since Wang's murder, somehow he had outwitted the FBI, the DEA, Homeland Security for months, the same way he had avoided Giovanni. But without Nate there to pay off his crew's bail and all of their attorney fees, one by one, they all began to rat out Nate Norman.
Of course they did.
The entire operation. But once Nate heard the feds had turned the crew on one another and told them all they were all going to go to jail for a very long time unless they got everyone, Nate Norman walked into the police station and the cops could not believe their eyes. They were expecting a hardened criminal mastermind, but they got a kid that used to deliver pizzas. Now, while the feds estimated 2,500 pounds were smuggled in reality, they had moved over 17,000 pounds of weed, netting them $32 million. Barely out of their teens, these kids had embarrassed the United States government, and somebody was going to take the fall. Giovanni was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Brendan Butler. Scuzz and Topher were given 2 years in the slammer, and Nate Norman would get 12 years. And a sick twist of fate, had it not went down the way it did, Nate probably wouldn't be alive. Today, Nate Norman's out of prison, he actively runs an AC business, and it seems like life for him is doing good.
Very good, thank you, Dakota. Moving on. For a sizzle reel, lingerie fighting. 7 deadly sins, baby.
Sit back and let Lucifer tell you a tale. A tale.
Guitar solo. Alrighty, moving on.
Sandcastle here. We're back from
You
the
sent this in,
compound.
obviously.
We had a fun time. My CIA handler simulation. All-American. Full auto. PDW missile launcher. Made from the remains of our enemies. Capable of firing 30 subsonic Hellfire Tomahawk self-defense missiles a second. Infrared enabled. Heat signature lock-on technology. No enemy of the state is safe, wherever they may be.
Thank you, Moloch, for your contribution.
For class, we'll be choosing prisoner to celebrate our higher-than-average prison population. And stamina. Helmet. Mask of the prisoner. Armor. Shadow militia corps.
Look at the president.
And the bone bow to express our Second Amendment rights. For ammunition, we'll be going fluoride. 200 milligrams.
All
To
right.
restore consciousness back to acceptable levels. Also, we handpicked sleep arrows because this was one of the comments on the wiki. It's time to break the minds of our subhuman enemies because physical wounds can heal. Eliminate your adversaries coldly and emotionlessly from miles away in the name of our reptile overlords. After our strategic reposition, freedom still reigns. We give their leader a tactical magnum. His fellow socialists can do nothing but watch. Where was your free healthcare at when you needed it? We commandeer their elevator as we have important business to attend to. I'm sure these gentlemen can find a nice cold train back to Siberia. Just gotta remind them, you're only a couple trigger pulls from death. Our MK Ultra passcode was activated. I hear an extremist trying to gain access to a height advantage using a ladder.
Not if Liberty has anything to say about it.
You have the freedom to fall 50 stories and break every bone in your body. Set into free fall, just like his union. Try to fix that one, Boris. Make sure to aim your incendiary rounds within our mass.
Dark Souls of AR-15 for real.
He's chosen to redistribute the labor of doing the boss fight to 2 cooperator summons, with the idea of sharing the reward between them. Following by example, we redistribute his brain matter onto the cement. That'll teach him, or will it? These types never learn. My holotip arrow isn't enough to puncture the Tango's body armor, so we lead them to something that will. An anti-personnel WD-40. It eliminates them with enough force that their mother in the nearby Pashtushi village could hear the explosion. It's okay. Their third world underdeveloped constitution guarantees them the right to a closed casket. I spot some oligarchs trying to subvert our elections. They notice my investigation and immediately flee the scene. I lay down some extrajudicial suppressive fire. They're terrified of our militaristic tenacity. Hard work scares these Bolshevik types to their core. I get posted up on the elevator. They're doing typical communist pedophile activity, pretending to be inanimate objects. Stalin actually used to contort his physical form to that of a coat rack as well. They've got to be some high-level psychic vampires to perform that bloodline ability. It's possible.
Vampires.
I'm hit again by his blood magic. I apply a field dressing to stay in the fight. They're bombarding me with psychic, telekinetic mental attacks, causing me to miss my shots. Your disinformation won't work on me. I'm able to overcome their vampire abilities using my special forces training. Thank you, taxpayers. While my intentions may be noble, some people just aren't capable of understanding freedom, especially if they have fangs and burn in the daylight. They have me pinned down. Things aren't looking good, but all of a sudden, his urge to moonveil me outweighed his desire to live. I'm not surprised. It's to be expected from people that would wait in a breadline.
Our work is never finished.
More people line up to become human sandbags.
Endless hordes of people that don't speak American. Don't feel bad for them. They're not sending their best. These are people that use green veils and wear heavy armor unironically. These are not good people.
Not good
it's
people.
Up to us to protect the future of our beautiful country. One self-defense ICBM at a time.
The fluoride dosage is doing irreparable caustic damage to their nervous system, causing them to act in strange and bizarre ways. Capacity for self-preservation annihilated.
Fell off the fucking ledge.
The White House is in jeopardy, sir. There's an influx of migrant caravans on their way from around the world. We found out where they're headed. They're trying to reach the president. They claim to want a president that can articulate his thoughts and stand up straight and not crawl on the floor like a spider. This cause for concern is clearly unwarranted. He's got at least 5 more terms left in him. Can't let these fearmongers ruin our democratic process. That's where you and Border Patrol come in. We'll be intercepting the protester caravans here, here, and here. The smart ones will attempt to use the brush as cover to avoid contact with our immortal customs officials. This is where the thermal heat sensing technology on the Bombo comes into play. As they crawl in the mud to avoid detainment, we'll be pelting them with enough fluoride to make them watch slime sensory videos for life. The moment they attempt to resist arrest by leaving the brush and fighting back, they'll be apprehended by a swarm of federal agents and sent back to their great-grandparents' country of origin.
Now that the briefing's over, let's get down to business. We locate the first suspect hiding from authorities by tracking his brain-implanted RFID signal. He's unaware of the thermal homing our arrows are capable of. Vaccination successfully administered. He retreats into the undergrowth and then flanks around. He's desperately trying to get a hit in on me. I might be a little too overqualified for this guy. I think he's starting to realize that resisting is pointless. After more flailing around, he approaches again. We douse him with more sedatives, just shy of giving him brain damage. That's when I notice him. It's none other than the late Abu bin Baba Gub Gub II. Officer Hit, we're gonna need federal backup. My fellow Glowy's in hot pursuit. Put your hands above your head. I supply covering fire so he can advance. Our agent performs standard procedure and calcifies his pineal gland. That's one demonstrator down. I'm deeply emotionally affected by the trauma of having to take his life, so I take some time to mourn his passing. But as long as the protest continues, we still have work to do. He's hiding in the shrubs. A laughable attempt by Gub Gub to evade the law. These fugitives can't shake us. You renounced your citizenship when you decided to attend this protest. We sedate his new accomplice, and he's swiftly detained. We switch targets to Gub Gub. Overwhelmed by our fire superiority, he rushes to summon more protesters out of desperation. He's clearly organized this entire peaceful protest to get revenge for what we did to his father. It's not worth it, Baba. Revenge isn't worth the price. Blinded by rage, he starts swinging at the air wildly. We understand what he must be feeling right now, but the state has determined that it doesn't matter. His friend must have slipped out of his cuffs. Oh well, back to jail. We catch him out on the jail, struggling to move in his heavy armor. We send a volley downrange, and the agent goes in for a takedown. He'll be transferred to a secure facility where they can pour water on his face, 12 hours a day. Let's report our results back to the administration.
Congratulations, you saved America. I knew you could do it. Now go, take care of Los Angeles homeless problem.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rama. I'm just gonna go through the rest of this for the anime song. There we go. Thank you.
Concord's
Bleak time.
Out. Pimps, no monologue on this video. Let's just get right into my first impression. Okay. Alright, no, that's fair enough. And the beta's over. Concord is like the Netflix adaptation of Overwatch. They spent way too much money on it and took every last character to the ironing board. Everyone caught around to budget cuts. They even took Bastion's curves away. They turned his ass into a 1,000-gallon trash dumpster. I didn't even know they made plus-size robots. They don't even get me started on Dawes, McGuardian of the Galaxy looking ass. But listen, I'm not here to make fun of old fucking blueberry kid from Willy Wonka. Let's talk about the game. But before we get to talking about the game, one last thing. Honestly, Concord is so shit that it broke OBS and destroyed all my recordings, so go ahead and use your imaginations to see the other missing 59 frames per second, okay? Alright, let's do it. Let's get into it. First off, PlayStation's never gonna beat the movie game allegations if every time they steal an idea, their twist is just adding expensive CGI cutscenes to it. I'm sure Sony heard that Overwatch fans just love watching Overwatch movies. I just don't think they were clued into what kind. Shit, they probably at least spent tens of thousands of dollars making these, only for 70% of drug-addled Overwatch players to immediately hammer that skip button, especially when old Paul Blart strip mall cop comes shuffling in fucking daw. You think fancy trailers can make up for your shitty gameplay? What are you, World of Warcraft? Second, and let's get that PowerPoint up on the screen, even the gameplay has thyroid issues. I know Sony likes slow, dragged out games, but my 600-pound lifelike movement on a bunch of physically fit heroes and DAW is painful. It doesn't matter if you're playing as this thing or blue balls here, you shuffle everywhere. We do have footage of Totally Not Winston's run. Look at that run. That's not even a jog. That's barely even speed walking. You're embarrassing yourself. But what's worse than the movement is the time to kill. In all fairness, PvP games where you have to shoot people for 2 fucking presidential terms in order to kill them has never really been my bag. Let me show you a few minutes before Concord shut off my body cam. Look at Low T Doom guy firing 5 rockets to kill the enemy. Look at this sniper damage. Look at Daw. He's got that hot dog with it. Look at this LMG damage. John Lewis of the Lewis gun just died for a second time after seeing that. And I know you're saying, Blake, that's just Overwatch gunplay. That is actually my point. Overwatch is shit, and this is even worse. Grow up and go get shot in Kabul like the rest of us. Very slow, very clunky, not fun, not good. I'd rather be at the Whoopi Goldberg Diablo 4 crossover event than here playing this. God damn. Third, let's all laugh at the player count for a moment. People didn't even want to play the game for free. But they did want to play the other Overwatch knockoff. And so do I. Number 5,
Booty.
This may be the most budget-cut roster in history. It used to be an agreed-upon fact that sex sells. Now it's an obvious fact that budget cuts bankrupt. Realism's getting a little too real, isn't it, NetherRealm? You go look at the more successful beta going on right now, and the heroes look like heroes. Storm is causing a storm in my jorts. My soulmate Man-Witch Punisher is built like a fucking mountain. He is on test 2 million. I don't want to shuffle around as someone that shares my very same beautiful, voluptuous, pear-shaped build. I want to play as a man that has used so many steroids that he won't see 35. This is a hero shooter where our heroes are the residents of Seattle. I can't wait for the homeless hero that throws pocket fentanyl at you. It'd be like McCree stun grenade, just bam, then you're knocked out for the next 4 to 6 hours. I'm getting off track. And I make fun of the pronouns, but to be honest, these things came in handy. I had to use this shit like a star guide to some of these constellations. Just to show you this in action. You see that guy right there? That's one big ass dipper right there. Jesus. 2 seconds, man or lady. Wrong. Neither, you bigoted son of a bitch. Look at this roster. You got Buzz, Heavy Year, Discord Moderator, Piss Filter, Yondu, Black Widow Maker, Tumblr Persona, Glaucoma Guild, the Trash Man if you self-identify as a trash player, Special Forces.
The expert's on it.
Chill indeed.
This lady, you know, I got nothing. She's the only one on this roster that actually does damage. 2007's Heart Attack Grill winner, Soldier 75, the heavier weapons guy, African-American sniper, Hank Hill ass, Florida Gators fan, looking chubby buddy motherfucker. This thing that looks like it crawled out of Dawes jar, goggles stay on during sex looking ass, big ass baby.
That's one big ass baby.
The new Blade, Michael Jackson pre-allegations, Shimon, shit, Lord, Mom, Dad, Lord, Mom. That one's a thinker. That one's for the Rainbow Six fans out there. The Goon Goblin, the Silverware Surfer, except the only thing he surfs is DoorDash. Fat Alberta. I got you. Hey. And last but not least, Token White. All right, that's enough. I got nothing for the talking refrigerator. I would have put some palate cleansers in there, but Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish already caught me 1 strike this week.
Oh, so he knows.
It's all good though, Papa Neil. All I ask is that next time you don't dead name me, all right? I'm hurt. Thanks for watching.
He builds. Oh, he dead named him. Wow.
This video's gonna receive.
No longer Fleek's name, Jericho.
Thanks to the flock of pimps for bankrolling this video, and another huge thanks to all the pimpers for going
Beautiful.
the extra
He loves
mile.
to see
I
it.
will see you
Hell yeah,
all
Fleek.
when I see you.
We will see you next time, or when you put out a new video. Here we go. Keys Origin. Mr. Bob sent this in. Seen all these videos
Hello,
before
Scaredy
too.
Cats, it's me, Scaredy Matt. For as long as I've been on internet, which is like,
I'm
I
scared.
don't know, 50 years at this point, The
Jesus.
Onion has been turning out quality content. They probably did it before then, but I didn't hear about it till I got on internet. It's incredible to me the depth and breadth of the stuff that they have put out over the years. and how often they've managed to make me laugh or just nailed something so on the head that I'm still thinking about it years later. The Onion are like the only people that manage to make satire consistently funny. Like, you can kind of always rely on them to not only have a decent take, but to make you laugh too, and I don't think people appreciate just how rare that is. But this isn't a comedy channel, this is a horror channel. Sure, The Onion can make me laugh, but can it scare me? Can it make me pee my little pants? Am I gonna have a wet diaper? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. About a decade ago, The Onion put out a few web series, a couple of which, in addition to being really funny, were weirdly scary. Today I'd like to talk about one
Across
of those
America,
web
there he
series.
is, Porky, before he was
Porkin'
transformed.
Across America.
This is Jim Haggerty, Porkin' Across America.
You can watch the whole thing for free in the playlist in the description, and I highly encourage you to do so.
As we
because
have.
This video will spoil some of the most delightfully gruesome surprises in the whole thing that if you're a sicko like me, you'll want to experience firsthand. Porkin' Across America is a fictional reality TV show in the vein of a diners, drive-ins, and dives type of deal, where the host of The Onion's daytime talk show, Today Now, Jim Haggerty, travels across America trying pork dishes in every state. While he's on the road, his life back home begins to just completely fall apart, but he's too wrapped up in his mission to eat pork in all 50 states to attend to his problems. That's the basic joke. A pipe bursts in his condo, but he refuses to deal with it, telling his wife to just figure it out, and that gradually escalates into his condo flooding, destroying his whole building, his wife divorcing him, and his dog being euthanized in a kennel while he's powerless to help over the phone. Shit like that. Jim is obsessed with making his show work, despite knowing literally nothing about pork or food in general.
A damn
he comments
thing.
that raw pork looks like muscle to a confused line chef.
Look at that. It's almost like muscle.
Most of meat is muscle.
Certainly doesn't enjoy the food, and is often forced by strange circumstances into eating something disgusting, like a salad full of random pig parts or
Ew.
a raw sausage. He continuously interrupts interviews with personal phone calls as his life collapses on camera. He can't stop filming to attend his niece's funeral, even though he personally caused her death. And then he let her die alone. And as the layers are pulled back one by one, you get a picture of Jim's life. When he needs someone to move his car, he discovers that all of his friends are angry with him for not keeping in touch over decades. He doesn't understand basic things like trash disposal. He just flushes his mail down the toilet to keep his identity from being stolen.
What the hell?
Tries to solve every problem in his life by just throwing huge wads of cash at it, and doesn't consider that that might appear rude to people. He's not even a great host. He's constantly making awkward small talk and inadvertently saying offensive things. In particular, he does not understand pork or the pork making process, thinking that
No, he does
bones, quote, soften up while cooking. This results in a horrific injury where he jams a pig bone through his upper palate, which is like doing like there, that way in your mouth. And that's where things take a real turn for the gruesome. You see, Jim's wife has taken him off her insurance, so the doctors are forced to go with the cheapest option, a graft of pig tissue. Later, he burns his arms, and likewise, the doctors are forced to use a pigskin graft. And then he has a heart attack, and the doctors replace his heart with a pig's heart. Gradually also, through a pretty elaborate set of circumstances, Jim has become addicted to drinking pig's blood, so his body no longer recognizes his human organs, forcing the doctors to replace his organs with pig organs. Jim wakes up one day in the hospital confused and asks his producer,
I am a pig?
The last straw comes when, due to an explosion, a plastic pig nose is melted to his face, and Jim discovers that he has more of a connection to pigs than to humans at this point. When he's tasked with slaughtering a pig, Jim becomes upset as the audience cheers on the pig's death. The love and affection the pigs have given him makes him realize what he's done, and in a last-ditch effort to reclaim his family, he finally abandons his show to go home to see his ex-wife. But she rejects him, calling him a monster, and Jim, having nothing left to tether himself to humanity, attacks the camera operator and flees. The final episode is no longer Porkin' Across America, but rather an episode of Today Now, the daily talk show Jim had previously been a host of. Today's story, a mysterious human-pig hybrid. Jim recognizes his former co-host's voice, but ultimately sees that the world has moved on without him. The world no longer has a use for Jim Haggerty. The world needs only pig. After the show, a sleazy producer offers Jim the chance to be a pig celebrity, but he refuses, choosing to stay with his adopted family in a simpler life. Finally, Jim understands the importance of humanity, and all it took was for him to
become a fucking
turn into a
pig.
pig. Porkin' Across America has a lot to say about the nature of celebrity and the artifice of reality TV. Jim continues making this disposable trash TV that nobody ends up watching, and it costs him everything: his home, his family, his career, his humanity. No matter how dire his situation becomes, he time and again chooses his ridiculous self-imposed pork journey over the things which actually matter in life. He's selfish, reckless, and impatient to the point of self-destruction. While the camera is rolling, we see heartbreak after heartbreak, only for Jim to just kind of snap back into host mode and talk to the camera as if everything is normal.
Mr. Haggerty, Nathan killed another dog at our kennel. Mr. Haggerty, I'm sorry, but our policy is that we will have to euthanize Nathan.
Well, could you at least put him on the phone so I can say goodbye while it's happening?
It's pretty dark, yeah.
Okay, yes.
Nathan, good boy, it's Papa. Oh, you're such a good boy.
She's dead now.
Who's ready for pork?
He refuses to compromise no matter how much his ridiculous and pointless job gets in the way of his personal relationships, no matter how much he hurts all the people around him. By the time he recognizes what he has become, it's too late. And although he learns his lesson, he's left permanently changed. A grunting, disfigured, half man, half pig, wallowing in the mud. He's nothing more than the pork his show is meant to showcase, a disposable commodity to be consumed and discarded. This was made by The Onion. This psychological horror story about the dehumanization of mass media pap. And folks, not even the scariest thing they made. Around the same time, they made a show called Sex House, which is like Porkin' Across America, but for Big Brother. It's even bleaker. Porkin' Across America definitely shows its age a little bit. There are a couple of moments that look way cheaper than I remember them looking, but for what it is, it's executed about as well as you could expect. I mean, this is a web series from a decade ago. I highly recommend you check it out, and some of the other series The Onion produced around that time.
Same,
like
it's really good.
Sex House, Lake Dredge Appraisal, and Dr. Good. All of them are extremely funny, extremely relevant, and all have really weird horror elements that will get under your skin. Hey, Maddie, guess what? I got big news. You're not gonna guess what I gotta tell you.
Okay. What?
It's me, Bobby Duke, star of the channel. Yep, I know who you are, Bobby. Remember? You said to me while you was under the influence of marijuana animals.
We're moving on from the skit.
I stopped being funny.
Just cause. Okay, Lucido the doll. Here we go. Spooky time, chat. Spooky, I should say. Now we'll be right back.
Is it really possible for a doll to be possessed by a demonic entity?
Hey, it's Annabelle.
Throughout history, the issue of possessions has sparked intense debate. From the ecclesiastical perspective, where these events are viewed with extreme caution, many cases have resulted in extreme danger. Similarly, a more conservative sector of science, which attributes possession to suggestion, psychotic states, and any rational explanation, no matter how extreme, still cannot completely deny it. The strange circumstances and statistically improbable coincidences make this phenomenon difficult to dismiss as a force beyond human understanding. The case we will present next occurred in a remote area far from major cities, during a time when fabricating events for public shock wasn't as easy as it is today with the prevalence of social media. We have to go back to 1978 in northern Argentina, very close to the Great Andes mountain range, in the province of Catamarca. Despite the story being scarcely known on the internet, mainly due to how disconnected northern Argentina and the Latin American desert are from certain modern narratives, everyone in the province of Catamarca has heard of the case of the doll Luchito and the strange events that surrounded its presence in one of the estates of the wealthiest families in the region. It all began with the story of a well-known antique dealer from the namesake city of the region, who always shared with his buyers the tale of how he acquired his most peculiar item. He named the doll Luchito because it reminded him so much of his younger brother, who had died of tuberculosis when he was 10 years old. According to this antique dealer, he acquired the doll purely by chance. He attributed it to some sort of divine message as in his devout Catholic faith, he claimed it appeared to him during a rather strange situation on a journey. The antique dealer, named Jorge Lopez, recounts that in the 1960s, when the railway line connected all of Argentina to more remote areas like Catamarca, he found Luchito in one of the train cars. One night, curiously, Jorge Lopez noticed that no one else but him was in the car. This struck him as odd precisely because those trips were always crowded due to the high demand for night travel. However, this night was a great exception. At first, he thought he might have fallen asleep and missed his stop. In the middle of the journey, Jorge Lopez checked with the train conductors to see if there was any issue, but everything seemed in order. He remembered that night as one of the strangest in his life. Despite the weather being generally benign, a thick fog enveloped the train, and a chilly breeze seeped through the car corridors, making the trip extremely uncomfortable. Due to these curious events, Jorge Lopez switched cars several times, noticing a recurring pattern. All of them were completely empty. This oddity made the journey feel much longer than usual. Although he usually stayed awake all night, the hours seemed interminable, and the lack of light outside gave him the impression that the night would never end.
Terrifying.
In one of his car changes, he noticed a human figure sitting with its back turned in a corner of the aisle in the first car. Believing it might be another passenger, he ran towards it. Just at that moment, a loud noise abruptly stopped the train. The engine had suffered a malfunction in the rear cars, with the last one being the most affected, derailing on a curve. In the shock of the loud noise, Jorge Lopez naturally tried to speak to the figure sitting there. He was surprised to discover that it was a doll. The doll immediately reminded him of his deceased brother, and given the circumstances of the accident, he attributed its appearance to some kind of miracle. Without asking where the doll had come from or if it had an owner, he took it home at the end of the journey and permanently displayed it in his antique shop. In 1978, a major fire struck the center of the city of Catamarca. The blaze consumed much of Jorge Lopez's shop. The incident ended tragically with his death after a painful 2-month struggle to survive the aftermath of his burns. Seeing some of the valuable relics that hadn't been consumed by the flames, a prominent landowner from the town of Imogasta, a couple of hours west of Catamarca, decided to buy them for display.
Guess the doll did it.
Unaware of the story behind the doll Luchito, and intrigued by its appearance, he decided to give it as a birthday present to his granddaughter, who lived in his mansion in Imogasta. Despite the doll's ominous look, it's important to note that many figures from that era were made
That's
with
fucking
human-like
terrifying.
features that we now find quite terrifying. So it wouldn't be surprising if the landowner's granddaughter found the doll Luchito even adorable. Beyond its appearance, the story surrounding this doll began to grow darker over time at the estate. The information about what happened after Jorge Lopez's death was provided by Ana Goyena de Pieri, the granddaughter, about 20 years later. Ana commented that in the 1970s, many in Catamarca associated Jorge Lopez's death and the fire in his antique shop with a supposed curse of the doll Luchito. She, being a child at the time, had few memories of playing with or spending time near the doll. However, as time passed and her ability to remember events in her life improved, Ana became aware that all those rumors seemed to be true. The doll Luchito, apparently, was always found at the scene of some tragedy or catastrophic event. Although it spent most of its time inside a toy box, it was often lost in the mansion and even found lying around the vast estate grounds. Ana recalls one night when her father came home from work, inexplicable fit of violence, tried to attack her mother with an axe. This occurred in the master bedroom. Curiously, that same day, the doll Luchito had disappeared and was found the next day under her parents' bed. But the problems didn't end there. Ana also remembers an occasion when she had taken the doll Luchito to the kitchen to play with one of the estate's employees. The woman, annoyed by the doll's presence, tried to get Ana to take it back to her room. Despite the child's insistence, the doll remained seated on some boxes of provisions, which suddenly exploded after a few minutes. Cases like that, Anna recounts, happened repeatedly when someone seemed annoyed by the doll's presence. However, as time passed and the girl grew up, the doll Luchito was once again locked away, this time in a closet, never to be brought out again. It is likely that, if the estate still exists, the doll remains somewhere, waiting to be found. Anna learned about the legend much later in life. She couldn't believe that she had possibly interacted for so many years with a potentially cursed object. While she never felt particularly harmed by Luchito, she was somewhat aware that the area had indigenous shamans who, within their rituals, sought to extend their lives into certain objects.
Fucking Chucky?
This aligns perfectly with the tradition of the Fiambala shamans, as they were popularly known. These indigenous people of the Argentine mountains were known in folklore for some quite particular supernatural characteristics. These shamans used to perform animal sacrifices when they sensed their death was near. In these rituals, they would pour liquids extracted from the animals and mix them with their own belongings, hair, or parts of their bodies. After these rituals, they would take objects that could endure over time, such as clothing, desert plants, rocks, and a long list of items. However, they also used to do something similar with demons that plagued their communities. They would trap them in ordinary objects, hoping to keep them under
Maybe it
control.
is the origin of Sean.
This is why
Bob.
there is no sure way to know if the doll Luchito contained the spirit of an ancestral man or was the vessel of a demon. In the words of the few purely indigenous inhabitants of the Argentine mountains, they warned that although these practices ceased almost 100 years ago, within their tradition, it was never a good idea to try to uncover the origins of these objects. In fact, attempting to contact them would risk restoring them to their original status, and in such a case, either destroy the life of the ancestral spirit inhabiting it, or in the worst scenario, release the demonic spirit.
If you'd like early access to my YouTube videos, you can support me with just $5 on Patreon. There, you'll also have access to some exclusive videos. Additionally, you can purchase channel merchandise on my Etsy store.
Very nice. Moving
Please
on. Here we
visit
go.
And take
Let's
a
get
look.
Zach off the screen. This first. The SWAT wasn't revealed at all. They weren't told nothing. Oh boy. Not a good look.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers.
Oh.
Whenever they arrived.
But I never got
and
that.
never happened. So I think that that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
It's really bad.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday.
Not until after the shooting.
And by then,
Damn.
It was too late.
All right. Moving on. Here we have this. Dreammaster Bob, you sent this. Nah, damn it. It doesn't want to show it. Lars Pork and Beans tries some frozen pizza juggalo style. Sorry, Dreammaster Bob. It doesn't want to show it. I guess it's age restricted. I can even check by opening the side here, just in case. I'm going to see. Must be age restricted to do that usually, though. Let me see. I am curious. Just to be sure. Let me see. I doubt it's gonna, because if it usually doesn't open there, it means it's not gonna open on the other end too. Let us see. I will try. If it does, then I'm watching it, but if it doesn't, then sorry, not much I can do about that. Paste and go. Nope. Sign in to confirm. Nope, it's age restricted. Alright, moving on. Here we go. Got Cobes. In the Dankness Abyss. It's 18 minutes. I'm speeding that shit up. Here we go. July 19th. Playback speed 1.5. Thank you.
King Cobra fans know what's up.
Here we go.
Everything a California burrito has. Bacon and beef, extra cheese, guacamole, sour cream, potatoes. This burrito has been a guest.
Oh no, I guess he did it himself, or YouTube did it.
They're gonna open it up.
Burrito. He's gonna eat it like a fucking apple.
Sauce.
Make it look disgusting.
No, it splattered all over my hands. How messy. I'm gonna do half of each on the burrito.
Burrito.
It's a bit messy. It gets all over your hands and arms.
Gross.
No. I'll be selling a wand on Etsy soon enough. It's going to have a unofficial King Cobra JFS tape with it, and a bar of the soap that I personally purchased.
Ew.
It's going to be...
It's like a guy who can make Mexican food look unappealing and unedible. For real, it's bad. Gross.
Stone all over my arm. King Cobra JFS fam. You just entered the dank zone. Haha. A little bit of that sauce is kind of leaking out on the wrapper, kind of like that, but it is what it is. A piece of that bacon came out. That burrito is dynamite, son. I like Taco John's, I like Taco Bell, and I like Ponchos and Guadalajara, what have you.
Guadalajara? You ever been there, boy?
It is, excuse me, delicious.
There you go.
Some Italian pinwheels ready to eat.
Shove it right in your maw.
Pinwheels, fried chicken, dark meat, fried dark meat chicken.
Looks bad.
Yes. Fried chicken, dark meats, signature select. Pinwheels. Oh shit. You got pinwheels and fried chicken. Oh, motherfuckers already know what's really good. Oh, motherfuckers know what's up. Pinwheels and fried chicken.
Oh, I'm surprised you said Guadalajara correctly too, Tremaster Bob.
Got that fried chicken and the fucking pinwheels.
DJ Boggy Bog here.
Pinwheels and fried chicken. What up, YouTube? So we got this bag of goodies here. It's a steak street chalupa from Taco Bell. Everything on it. Add black beans, seasoned beef, slow roasted chicken, onions, lettuce, 3 cheese, regular cheese, and tomatoes, and avocado ranch sauce. Everything added on it. And for sauces, we got Fire, Diablo, and Hot, and of course the avocado salsa verde. We got the goods.
Got the goods, all right.
Oh, word. Taco Bell didn't include all the Hots, the Fire, and the Diablo with the order when I ordered it. It is what it is. Sometimes they either give you too much sauce or they give you just enough, or sometimes they don't have any at all. It is what it is.
Oh no, it's ruined.
I'm trying to keep it like a nice...
He's just filthy.
Even stack here, YouTube.
Dunova brought up a good point too. Look at his wrists. He's been doing like manual labor or stuff. He's got dirt on his wrists.
Get that first look. Look at that sexy. I lick the sauce up. This sauce stuck to the goddamn taco shell. All the extra ingredients.
Because he's at his grandparents working on the ranch.
But that's all right. Dude, these are falling out of their wrappers.
He had made pinwheels a month ago, but that is new ones. Those are ones he bought from the store. Someone bought them for him. They're Italian pinwheels.
That's good.
I know, it does look like it's something he would make, but no, that's a store-made thing.
These food hacks get a little wild, YouTube. Nope. Give me attitude, gangster lean over here. It's all good though, because we're gonna be adding some sauce to these motherfuckers because they're not messy enough. When you add all these toppings,
I'm gonna get disgusted.
Chalupa, it's gonna get heavy in the sauce game. It's gonna get heavy in the messy toppings game. Your hands, you're gonna need the napkins. And trust and believe, you only need half each one if you want.
Taco Bell napkins. Those are cheap-ass fast food napkins.
And then we're gonna go for Hots. Smoked Diablo straight to the, yeah. Yeah, spicy.
Cannot handle spicy food.
And the taco sauces.
The fire probably tastes better than the Diablo. The Diablo's okay, I've had it, but I think the avocado verde sauce is actually really good. Oh, God, look at this nasty ass thumbnail.
I think we gotta go one more fire. Ooh, that's a spicy motherfucker. Excuse me, we're gonna add some of this salsa verde. It comes with their toasted chicken, like slow roasted quesadilla deal. When I get the, that's spicy.
Had the steak, I think that tasted pretty good.
Yeah, when I get
Yeah, get that shit in your eyeballs.
From Taco Bell.
He has a little meat on his fucking face there too. It's not a birthmark or everything, it's just like meat stuck on his face. It's disgusting.
You have to save those napkins for our
Wipe that shit off, asshole.
You put some of that green sauce on there because it's got that slow roasted chicken. You're like, King Cobra, you want one of these street chalupas? Yeah, I do. Do you want slow roasted chicken or do you want steak? Those are the two options. I'm like, nah, son. I want all three meats. In the order, it was supposed to include fire, Diablo, and hot sauce. Did not have it. Luckily, I had some on standpoint. It's all good. These are smelling all kinds of dank. Look at these street chalupas. You want to grab one of those? King Cobra giving you the close-up. The street taco is falling apart. They're dripping all over the place. We'll grab some of those toppings, put it back on there. It's about to get messy.
Oh, he can't handle even Taco Bell sauce. He has like no tolerance for any spice whatsoever.
Close up of that cross section of that steak, that beef, and that chicken, and that cheese.
Diablo's way too much for him. Fire's even too much for him too. I don't even know what kind of sauce he could take. Probably the mild, to be honest. If he could take it. Even medium's too much for him. He really cannot take hot sauce. He'll eat the stuff, but he really can't handle it.
I'm about to get like cheese and like toppings all over my damn hands. I don't care.
He does it because he's a poser. He thinks it makes him tough. I do it because I actually like super hot food. I will actually put like, you know, Reaper sauce on stuff. I've done, you know, ghost pepper stuff. I've done scorpion pepper stuff. I've had that super hot fucking chip before that made my arm go numb. I don't think it was really the heat that was the. I mean, the heat had Szechuan peppercorns on and stuff. That one was interesting. But it was the fact it tasted that activated charcoal shit on that chip was awful. That was one of those chip challenge things by I forget the Pocky chips, not Pocky. I forget how to say it, but that's the like one chip challenge thing. That one was not good. I heard the new one tastes pretty decent, but you know, I've had super hot chocolate before. I've done that stuff. I like it. I technically like hot peppers. I can handle them. So I won't eat one whole, mind you. I'd probably have it with something because I like the taste of them. But you know, probably my favorite happens to be the. I really like Reapers. They're pretty sweet. They usually have like a very fruity taste to them. They're really hot. But I do like the 7 Pot Primo. That's actually pretty good. I've had like 2 things of salsa in the past that just I kept eating that. That was good.
You afraid a little bit of a mess?
They call 7 Pot Pepper 7 pots because it's supposed to be able to season a dish 7 times or 7 dishes, big pots.
Goddamn Taco Bell.
It does, and it's probably to the peppercorns. It was numb for just a little bit, then it was pretty much back to normal. It was just like kind of a shock of having Szechuan peppercorns, which aren't really peppers, nor are they pepper nigrum. They're their own special kind of thing, and they're weird. And that's the only time I've ever had that. It wasn't with any like peppers, like actual chili peppers or anything. I think it was the Szechuan. Could have been an allergic reaction to that. Who knows? I'm not sure. Or maybe it was like by just going in shock with how like pungent it tasted. But again, I've had super hot peppers that are hotter than Szechuan, so. But Szechuan's a different type of heat too. It's not definitely capsaicin. It's something else. It's not even something that's closely related to like peppercorns and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
People are like, "Hey Cobra, have you tried these new street chalupas?" And I'm like,
maybe it was my body reacting to that fucking activated charcoal too, because activated charcoal is what you use for people that basically are ODing on something. So.
Excuse me.
It is nasty tasting.
Favorite Taco Bell item? That would be the toasted cheddar chalupa.
I can't say which one it was. If it was the peppercorns, or it was the Szechuan peppercorns, or it was the activated charcoal. I'm not sure.
A toasted cheddar chalupa.
No, again, I'll never take anything with fucking activated charcoal in it, though.
Cheese supreme taco with beef, and you add bacon to it, and you put cheese between the cheese shell and the toasted cheddar chalupa shell, and make a quesalupa out of it, and call it the toasted cheddar bacon quesalupa. You'd have customers out the fucking door, son. But no, seriously, folks.
You would not cover. Shut up.
The spiciness of those street tacos were delicious. Taco Bell keep doing that on the menu. That was phenomenal. Not as messy on the hands as I thought it was going to be, of course, which is always nice. You know, people love like the sloppiness of Cobra, and they love to like use it to make fun of me. Like, oh, look how disgusting he is. What are you doing with your life? I want to watch this video and comment. Way to ruin fucking goddamn fucking street tacos.
Fuck. You sound like an idiot.
Together are simply the fucking delicious, most fucking.
Stop saying it so much.
Goddamn drink combo you ever tasted,
Man,
son.
the more you curse, the more you don't sound that intelligent. I mean, I do curse a decent amount. I mean, I had family. I never really knew them, but my mom tells me about how her, you know, great grandmother was cursed like a sailor, and her you know, her grandfather did too. But, you know, they, you know, eventually mellowed out, or at least one of them did. Great grandma apparently was really firebrand. Anyway, moving on to our next thing here. Here we go. Let's at least forget this person. Actually, forget the cackler. 2020. Here we go.
You are absolutely right. But what if we're trying to look, part of this movement, and it's not just a moment, it's a movement, standing on the shoulders of the movements before.
Shut up.
Part of this has to be about changing the system, rehauling the system,
Yeah, like you did. You did such a good job with California's lost the weight. No, you didn't.
You're right. Under this attorney general, I have no hope for it being.
Hey, people like lifetime sentences or stupid
but
shit.
God willing, he will be out of that office shortly, and then we need to have a requirement that that office do the right thing going forward.
So then, if you're for overhauling, where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So
Zoom call.
Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety.
Glad you decided to stay with these people because they totally haven't turned down everything. Oh wait, they have. What a shock!
You get more safety by putting more cops on the street.
Oh,
well,
what a
that's
shock!
wrong. Because by the way, if you want to look at upper middle class suburban neighborhoods, they don't have that patrol car. They don't have those police walking those streets.
Shut the fuck up.
But what they do have, they have well-funded schools. What they do have is
wait. Those poor suburban neighborhoods have well-funded. What are you talking about? If it's a poor suburban neighborhood, do they have a well-funded school? I don't think so.
High home ownership rates.
What
they do have are thriving small businesses. What they do have is access to public health and mental health services.
No, they don't. What?
So this
you don't know anything about
movement
suburbia, you
is
dumb
about
cunt.
Rightly saying, we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right.
I live in a small suburban place. We've got cops out the wazoo, let me tell you.
When today in America, 2/3 of our
got sheriffs around, we got cop patrol vehicles. They got the ones that are the black ones so you can't see it's a cop car. Yeah.
School supplies. When we have for generations now.
Because they got stuff they got to do.
Public schools, but yet militarizing police departments.
That's right.
We need to have this conversation and critically examine and understand this is not working. It's not working. So this is an important conversation, and not just a conversation, because to your
I'm not obviously
point,
talking bad about what they have. They got a lot of good stuff.
It has to be about
the police department in my town is definitely well funded. I can tell you that.
I was out there with folks, and
I live in a suburban place.
Any movement, any progress we have gained has been because people took to the streets, and that's what we're seeing today. And what gives me a sense of hope is that people who seemingly have nothing in common understand they have this in common and are marching together. So we have to keep up the fight, but we can fight and be optimistic. In fact, some of our best fights have been born out of optimism, right? Born out of knowing what can be, unburdened by what has been. And that's what we have to carry to keep us going, because we don't want this to just be a moment. We do want this to be a movement.
Accurate. Not looking good.
How in a franchise has made so many sense.
Oh, I got a speed duck up.
They could have had a
I said duck instead of Doug. Here we go. Oh god. Shut up, Doug. Interact. 1.5 speed, baby. Here we go.
The Merc with the Mouth is now the Merc with the Mouse in Deadpool and Wolverine. So before I talk about what I think of this third film, I should talk about what I thought about the previous two Deadpool movies. I do enjoy them. I think they're very funny. I think they're well written. I think they're good action. I don't love them, though. And I found out rewatching them again that part of what made them so much fun when you first see them in the theater is kind of the novelty of it. So I hugely respect these movies for doing stuff that we hadn't really seen up to that point. We've seen movies that certainly break the fourth wall and do it great, but Deadpool was very good at not only doing it with comic book movies, but also combining it with a serious action story, like getting you involved enough that you also
That's
want to see
Cable,
what's
I
gonna
saw him.
happen in the action sequences. You're still rooting for the main character. You're still concerned about what's going to happen to him, even though he can't die, but the connections he makes and what he goes through, all that good stuff. So I do respect that, but I will admit this type of humor has kind of been on the internet for a
Deadpool's
while,
also an
and it's cool seeing it
anti-hero,
on the
by
big
the
screen.
way.
It's cool seeing millions and millions of dollars
He's not really a
thrown
hero.
at
He'll
that
act like
humor,
one. He's an
but after
anti-hero.
you
He
get
kills
over that,
people
the
and
novelty
shit,
does wear
dog.
off a little bit. So with the first film, I definitely really liked
Also,
that
Cape
we
Shit's
were doing
done.
something kind
I
of
said
new
that
to
earlier,
the big
Cape
screen.
Shit's
With
still
the second
done.
one, I really felt like they had to push the envelope a little bit more, and it was just a little bit of the same with that. Like they did one or two things different, but really not much. So with the third film, Deadpool and Wolverine, I was really hoping they were going to add a little
Apparently
bit
this is
more
doing well,
to
but
it.
still saying the
And
same thing. Cape Shit's
kinda
done.
do. It's the same
That
type of
franchise
humor,
is
it's
what
the
it
same
is.
type of action,
Cape
but
Shit's
it's all
done,
still
man.
done very, very well.
No one gives a
In
shit
terms
anymore.
of evolving or adding anything new, I can say they do add some things that are new, but it doesn't really evolve. And I don't think that's going to be a problem for anyone. It wasn't really a problem for me, as long as they did add things that were not only different, but were things that we did want to see as both Deadpool fans or X-Men fans.
So
Especially
small
if you're an X-Men
Jackman
fan, there's
there.
a lot of scenes in this where just my lizard brain couldn't help but adore what was on screen, and some of the people that pop up in this. I mean, probably goes without saying, there's going to be a lot of cameos in this. Just seeing Hugh
Of course
Jackman,
it's cameo,
outfit is very, very
Member
cool.
berries.
Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
Hey, mostly that's not true. And even what they do with some of the humor, I won't give away how this film opens up, but it's very, very clever at both being a troll move, but not necessarily hurting what's been done in the past with Logan and just the Wolverine character in general. The opening manages to be both respectful and disrespectful at the same time. It actually does manage to have its cake and eat it too, and that's very difficult to do in this setup, and I think they did a pretty good job with it. With that said, this is definitely a film that relies solely on its comedy, its action, and its fan service. And it's good at all three. If you're looking for anything else, which I kind of doubt you are, you're gonna get very, very little of it here. The plot is easily the most flimsy out of all the movies. I mean, I'd keep reminding myself who they were even fighting half the time. The cameos in it are very much like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That is to
Are
say,
they fighting
I
the
really
fucking
like them. I had a lot
Watcher?
of fun with them, but I will admit there are
They're
some
fighting
that
the
are
fucking
really
Watcher.
great to see. I
Why?
feel like I've waited years to see moments like this, and then others are kind of random, but I didn't mind because they were so cool. And I think if anyone is looking for something that's going to have a sense of evolving the characters or evolving the story, or
Watcher's
even
not a
some
bad
understanding of the world,
guy.
you're not going to get much of that, but you are going to get an extension of what this franchise is. You can take it's Deadpool. Of course, you can take it that way.
I am soaking wet right now.
So was I when they revealed a certain cameo at that point. I won't ruin what it is, but it.
Psylocke, it's probably Psylocke.
And I feel like they have just the right amount of fun with it. Now, on that note, I think there's two major things that bizarrely don't work in this movie. One is it is too long. And that's really weird because I went to a 3 o'clock show, and when I left, it was 5 o'clock. And I don't know how that's possible because this film felt a lot longer than that. I think that maybe does indicate there's some pacing problems with it, or again, trying to keep focus on what the main threat is, or what the purpose of the movie is, or what it's trying to accomplish. I mean, I guess you're having a good time.
No,
but
it
you
can't
don't
save it
care
at all,
a
Trimester
great
Bob. I was
deal.
saying earlier how, I mean, I'll say it tomorrow too. Maybe we'll watch some more stuff for, Dark Room, which we'll do, me and Porky. And he's there too. Robert Downey Jr. has the acting depth of a fucking puddle. He can't fucking act for shit. His characters are not deep. He played a pretentious asshole because he's used to playing a pretentious asshole in real life.
Crap about who was gonna make it out or how they were gonna solve the problem.
I want to talk about what's
Ain't gonna be no good Dr. Doom.
Oh yes, the first third act they have. There's like 5 in this movie. The number 2 biggest problem with the movie. He weirdly is not funny when he doesn't have the mask on. Now, in the previous films, I know you're looking forward to him being in the costume and doing the cool action, breaking the fourth wall, doing all that stuff, but you could still get through it okay when he didn't have the mask on. Like, it's not anyone's favorite stuff, but, you care for Ryan Reynolds' character, you care for what he's going through, you're on his side just enough, and with this one, whenever he takes the mask off, heck, even when he's in the costume, he just takes the mask off, for some reason, it just goes really lame MCU movie, like the kind that has maybe too much exposition and is kind of getting a little too drunk on its own importance. Now, to be fair, there's a few moments they try to build up, like they're going to just say, wow, Marvel is great, and that's it, just kind of, salute or whatever. But a lot of these moments do come back later. But I still feel like not all of them come back later, so it still kind of feels like a lot of fan service to itself.
Yeah,
But
Watcher is
they
the
don't work
Watcher
moments-
Strong is the guy who basically just watches the entire universe. He's supposed to be a passive entity that just sits on the moon and watches the whole Earth. I think one of his bigger things is he basically intervenes only when the cosmic cube's in play. So that's it. I don't know why he's being a villain in this. That's really strange to me.
It feels like it's just kind of advertising the previous Marvel movies. And I feel like if this was Deadpool at its best writing, they would work with it in a funny way, in a way that you still go, man, that's still the Deadpool that we all love. That's a joke that we love, and it doesn't.
He's been in What Ifs too. They're tied to like basically the entire multiverse kind of thing.
He talked about they matter so much to him. And
Earth has one specifically for it, obviously.
I didn't know until about the halfway point that him and the girlfriend were split up. I completely missed
Universe
that.
616. The Ultimate Universe probably does too.
And it's very strange. It gets more quippy, like the usual Marvel movies, but not very funny quippy, just very unwelcome quips that
it's supposed to be with Copycat.
Any laughs. A lot of scenes where he doesn't have the mask on, you can tell people are supposed to laugh. People did not laugh at my crowd.
Okay, so one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching band?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even Snowboy?
But she has the better lines than Deadpool.
Blind L, nice.
But thankfully, like the other movies, he's in the costume and the mask the majority of the time. I want to say like 85%.
Is that a female watcher too? What the fuck?
All the actors that are brought in to play these parts are really having a good time, and they're chewing the scenery, but they're also bringing their A game when it comes to the drama. Hugh Jackman actually has some very good moments in this. Like, not a ton. I mean, again, this is a role he can practically play in his sleep now, but there are a few moments where you can tell he's giving more than like he probably has to. There's a scene in a car where him and Deadpool are having an argument, and he's just bringing his A game. Like, he is just quivering. He's like shaking. He is like, he almost has like tears in his eyes and stuff. I mean, he is just not sleepwalking through this. I know other moments in other X-Men movies where maybe they're reshoots, I don't know, but you compare this performance to, say, X-Men Origins, you can tell there's just not the same passion involved, so it is nice to see him definitely come back here.
I told you, you're not welcome here.
But Bryan Singer can't drink anywhere. It is an easy movie to pick out things that don't quite work about. Like I said, there wasn't a ton of investment in terms of what was going to happen. There are several jokes that don't work, and sometimes the pacing, like I said, can be a little off. I think just the novelty of seeing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds teaming up with him, both getting along and not getting along, having these other cameos and these other characters come in to sometimes get another chance at something that maybe didn't always end on the best note is pretty fun and pretty cool. I think it's a movie that just wants to have a good time, be cool, have some awesome fight sequences, some good jokes, and I think it succeeds on that level. So I'm giving it 3 out of 4. No, seriously, why was Thor crying? Nothing great, but I had a good time with it. With that said, what do you think? Do you think this is the best of the Deadpool movies? Is this what you've always been waiting for? The team-up of a lifetime, and it came through all the way, it went 1,010%, it gave you everything you always wanted? Or do you feel like this just completely missed the mark? Do you feel like it was only fan service, and it didn't work, and it wasn't funny, and it felt like it really should go in directions that hasn't gone before, and it was just lazy? Or do you feel like me, you just had a good time
Sorry about
with the
that,
jokes
Jeff.
and the action, and overall you left the film smiling? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Alright, last call. We're moving on to the booze. Here we go. Gonna do that. And then we're going right to Sky. Here we go. I'll be right back, too.
All right. Red dragon fruit, okay? I know it's purple, but it's called red, okay? Look at this. Dragon fruit, homeboy. One of the most exotic fruits in the world, okay? Rum, okay? You come over that with a little rum. Pink lemonade, okay? Pink lemonade. Instead of orange juice, like the typical mimosa, we got pink lemonade. The champagne's coming, okay? Fresh. See the smoke? Sorry, it's not smoke, guys. It's a chemical process. Right. And there you have it. The rum dragon fruit mimosa. Now, typically a mimosa is just champagne and orange juice, okay? This one is rum, champagne, pink lemonade, and dragon fruit. We added to it. Hallelujah. We mixed it up, and it's gorgeous, okay?
Welcome to Booze on the Rocks, and today we're going to make a tsunami. Now, I was introduced to this cocktail by my friends at the Manhattan Project. Great channel. I love those guys. They're lots of fun. Now, the interesting thing about this cocktail is their version's really easy to make. I'm adjusting it slightly just because I want to balance it out a little bit more, but the effect is going to be the same. You're going to be smacked by a tidal wave of flavor, unlike a real tsunami, which nobody likes. This one, however, you're going to enjoy. Now, it's a shaken cocktail, and we're going to start with our boozes, and we'll start with a little bit of vodka. Now, I'm using some Alberta Pure, and we're going to start with 1 ounce or 30 milliliters. Your second ingredient for this is going to be coconut rum. Now, don't do that. Having said that, grab your coconut rum. In this case, I'm using a little bit of Malibu, and you can use whatever coconut rum you want. Just have to remember that with any of the liqueurs that follow, you may have you will have varying levels of alcohol by volume. And we're going to move to 1 ounce, 30 mils. Your third ingredient is going to be peach schnapps. I'm using some Dr. McGillicuddy's, and that is 21% ABV. So you're going to have a cocktail version here that's going to be close to about 20 ABV, maybe a little bit less by the time it's all said and done.
Dragon fruit does tend to be surprisingly bland. If you get yellow dragon fruit, however, that actually tends to be a little bit more
now our next ingredient
fruitful. It actually tastes a lot better. There's white dragon fruit and I think it's red dragon fruit. It all depends.
Anyway, sorry.
Usually when you get it fresher, it does taste different.
However, damn it, I just like blue cocktails, so bear with me. You're going to use the same amount of 1 ounce or 30 mils. Your next ingredient will temper this a little bit, and that's pineapple juice. Now I'm using a pure pressed pineapple juice, meaning there's no sugar added, which is good because pineapple juice itself is naturally sweet. Now, having said that, we're going to use
normal, Nathan. Dragon fruit itself is native to Argentina, I believe. So unless you're actually getting an actual cactus tree to get it off of, then you ain't getting it.
Now this is turned more green than you would blue, which will actually
sometimes they're in Mexico too. It depends. You can grow it in a lot of places. I'm sure you could actually grow where you live.
What I'm going to do differently than the original recipe that I've seen is I'm going to temper this a little bit with lemon juice. This will help soften a lot of the sweetness that you would see and would make it slightly less accessible to some cocktail drinkers. It'll balance it out a little bit more. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to use an entire ounce or 30 mils of lemon juice. And again, you can adjust this to your personal flavors. And the reason I say that is you might want a bit more.
Also, I was just checking to see if Sasha was doing anything. She was just sitting down there. It's not like you jumped on something.
To add some ice. But one of the things that you can think about while you're actually
I'm sure 100% could grow a dragon fruit cactus.
You can adjust your levels of sweetness by a bit more lemon juice, or you could use a little bit of lime juice.
They can be pretty big, but I think you control them enough though they're not super huge too.
A little more tart. You just have to remember it's easier to.
Wouldn't be surprised if you could bonsai them even
too. Sweeter than it is to make it more tart, and just remember to factor that in. So make sure you give this a really good shake. All right, you're gonna do that for a good, before I fall over here, 5, maybe 8 seconds. And what we're going to do is we're just going to free pour this back into our glass. Oh yeah, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
Now what we are going to take is a little bit of lemon lime soda. I'm using Sprite. Use whatever you got. It's one of the reasons why I tempered it a little bit, because we're half sweet here, and more sweetness here. You just want to kind of balance it slightly. And now you're going to add 2 to 3 ounces, so that'd be anywhere from 6 to 90 milliliters. Oh yes, look at that, absolutely gorgeous. Grab yourself a straw. Now we're just gonna give this a little bit of a stir here. You can't go wrong. Simple, easy, you get the lemon, but you also get those coconut and peach flavors with a little bit of the orange from the blue curacao. And the pineapple juice just kind of holds it all together. If you like this style of cocktail, take a look at
Damn you, Strog, and your dad puns. Alright, there you go, that's a tsunami. Moving on. Here's some Sky, making a flaming skull cocktail.
Hit it with a little fire? Oh goodness. Kiwis for eyes. Some white rum. Coconut rum.
Of course.
Banana? Oh, that's pineapple. Sorry, don't know my fruits. And
wow.
Rum. Mango rum. Now we want some orange juice, right? But I like my stuff fresh squeezed. You see, a little pink lemonade. You could use any fruit juices you want here. Grenadine. Okay. Fresh squeezed lime juice. Okay. After I squeeze it, I flip it over like that.
I was gonna put 151 and flame it, yeah.
Hit it with the Bacardi 151. Okay, this is my special bottle, homeboy, because they don't make this no more. Hit it with a little fire.
Sure, they don't make Bacardi 151 anymore. You make Lemon Hard or another one. There's the Hamilton 151, which I have.
The Flaming Skull Island cocktail, homeboy, loaded with rum. Remember now, don't try drink this by yourself.
We got Cobes. Gas Station Delusions, here we go. I'm gonna speed this up too.
King Cobra JFS back at it with another video. Look what I have. Apparently, Voodoo Ranger was now getting into the hard
All boys, yeah.
Let's have a spotted tea.
Tea too. It's twisted tea. Okay. Hard tea.
That's the sound of a good night right there. Let's take a sip. So a couple days ago, I want to give a shout out to Phil and Kate. They were moving across the country, and they wanted to stop. They were driving through Casper on their way to their move, and they were like, "You know what? We're huge fans of Cobra's videos. Let's stop and take him out for drinks." I'm like, awesome. They gave me a heads up. They didn't just show up to my house and then like, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't mind. When
So he's still in Casper, probably.
Take me out for drinks. Okay, cool, but don't just show up to my fucking house. It's super weird. They got me in
your house, huh?
Bar we were drinking at, and so I went to a gas station.
As you know, I posted this earlier. It's all Calendia, so I might as well take a peek.
So I bought
on stream, of course.
A Mango Monster energy drink. And as I was leaving the store, I noticed a display case full of knives, and I stopped to admire the knives. I was like, these knives are pretty. I'm 33 years old. I can buy one of these if I had the money. These are really nice. And as I was leaving the store, I heard someone say, "You talking shit on me?" And I didn't realize who they were talking to. And then I smiled politely at the cashiers, thinking, you know, whatever, wasn't really paying attention. And then the dude behind the counter was like, "Yeah, you are talking shit on me. I see that goofy smile on your face." And then I realized he was talking to me, and I was like, "What?" And before I left the store, mind you, the gas station in question, I said, one, I was not talking shit on you. I was just admiring the knives you have on display. And two, I suffer from Asperger's. Have a good night.
Oh, boy.
It might have been a long night for the dude. He might have, like, some sort of mental problems of his own. I don't fully understand or know his situation, but I thought it was kind of rude.
Kind of rude that guy had a schizo episode behind the counter.
Then when I encounter crap like that in the real world...
Also, this is all made up. He didn't do any of this.
Shit. Like, hey, if I was talking shit, motherfucker, you'd know about it. You know, I got half a mind to report his ass to corporates.
What?
I'm gonna take the
all right, Karen. What the... What a Karen move. I'm gonna report this guy. None of this happened, for one. And if they did, you're lucky the guy didn't bust your teeth in. They'd probably break off on his fist.
Like, people do that crap to me all the time. Like, occasionally I'll get some random asshole in the real world who just has to fucking say something to me. It's like, what the fuck did I do?
Report you to corporate.
Is my existence a stain on humanity?
Queen Karen JFS here. Sorry, Queen Karen.
The drink at the bar. We went to a very haunted location and messed with an Ouija board because that was something they were looking to do.
Oh, boy.
And then, like, earlier today, what was it, yesterday? Or today, yeah, I woke up, I heard a loud bang, and I was like, what the actual shit? And my back door was wide open, and I'm looking around to my house. There's no one outside. And
Puff come back?
Inside my house, there's no one inside. And I'm like, well then. So I shut the door and I locked it, and I'm thinking to myself, that was peculiar. Ooh. And I'm like, oh, wait, if you want to hang out with me, that's cool, but leave my doors closed and locked, thanks. That's good.
Forgot to lock the door, stupid, and probably forgot to shut it.
Spilt the tea. And just knowing I could ruin that guy at the gas station's life by mentioning where he works, but that's not fair to everyone else who works there. And I don't want that gas station getting harassed. So I'm just going to take the high road and let it go. And, like, I try to avoid confrontation. I don't fight unless I'm cornered.
With the Ouija board. Oh, here we go.
Get the fuck out of here. Leave me the fuck alone, dude. Dude, fucking leave
me alone. I have autism.
No shit. They keep calling. You got 3 more calls. If they call 3 more times, you're fucking out. You're out.
That's just the way we should be as a human race, but I digress.
But I digress goes on to nothing.
I don't have any idea who the fuck I am. I could ruin his life just by mentioning his name on my YouTube channel. Fucking piss off.
Okay, sure, bud.
Yeah, anymore, I'm just getting tired of all the fucking disrespect. And I'm tired of taking shit from people. And one day, the wrong motherfucker's going to say something, and I'm going to say something back, and then I'm going to have to end up kicking someone's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Your ass kicked is what's going to happen.
But how much crap are you supposed to put up with, YouTube, when you've been fucked with your entire life like I have, bullied nonstop, rejected by every chick I've liked since the 4th grade, and then I
this old dance, huh?
YouTube nonstop. And nobody seems to care outside of the people who do care, you know? Plus, I like having the convenience of being able to go to a gas station, so it's like, you know, I don't feel like getting banned from this place. I don't know if he's got special needs too, or if he was just having a really bad day or a long night. You know, there could be multiple things contributing to it. And you clearly heard me say, these are really pretty knives. Hey, I'm 33 years old. I could buy one of these if I had the money. And you saw me, like, rotating the display shelf and checking them out. So how was I talking shit on the dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's fucking stupid. So how about you show me some fucking respect? It's not that difficult. I don't go out of my fucking way to disrespect people. I don't.
Respect is earned,
like
not given freely.
You respect me and I'll respect you. You don't respect me, I'll make your life a living hell. You know, that guy yelling at me at the gas station was kind of the final straw for me as far as, like, taking crap from people. I'm like, no, okay. And even then, I would much rather de-escalate the situation peacefully as possible without involving my YouTube or my fists. You know what I'm saying? And to the guy at the gas station who yelled at me because he thought I was talking shit, hey man, if you're having a rough night that night, sorry to hear it, but taking it out on customers is not the way to handle it.
Never happened.
Yeah, you all see that goofy smile on your face, and I didn't realize he was talking to me, you know, and, like, I was just trying to smile politely as I was leaving the store. I'm like, this is why I hardly ever venture out into the real world. Well, I'm a bit of a hermit anymore. It's because I cannot.
Because you're a little
stand
pussy.
Drama, and when I encounter drama and shitty.
Drama. A guy said mean things to me.
They're like, Cobra, which gas station was it? I'm like, I'm not gonna say which gas station it was.
You will
That's none of
soon.
your damn business. If you don't
We'll
like
find
me,
out
keep
one
your
way or
fucking mouth
another,
shut,
boy.
then. A cup of tea, governor. This beach tea is delicious. Cheers.
What an idiot. Alright. About to get to the last video after this.
Okay, beautiful.
Egg punch, so yeah, uses how he usually uses Jägermeister.
Alright, sorry. You like red wine? I got you. I got you, okay? Yeah. That's your Grandine wine? Who knows? If you don't know, a stag party is a bachelor party, you know.
Yes, it is.
In the UK, that's what they call it. Get a little lemon juice in here. Please some raspberry lemonade. You can use any kind of lemonade you want. Water from mixing glass. Then we shake it and keep it sexy, homeboy.
Free Hill Tree Master up, that's funny.
With my pour. With some raspberries on the side here. Okay, beautiful. And there you have it! The Stag Punch, homeboy. That's what I'm telling you. Wait, listen. They have bachelor parties, they have stag parties. Which one's better? It's supposed to be the same, you know. But English dudes always do the, you know, they probably have like tea and crumpets or something like that, right? When we have hookers and cocaine. So it's up to you which one you want, all right?
Alright, last video we got
Some
Bruce.
say it's a reference to the tall trees you have to climb to get to the coconuts. You need the agility of a squirrel and the determination of a cat chasing a laser pointer. Others believe it's because the drink's color looks like wet.
We are going to speed Bruce up a little
like
bit, but
Mother
that's
Nature
okay.
herself whispering.
It's pretty understandable even at high
Have a sip
speeds.
of my morning coffee.
Orange juice in my champagne, that's funny. Sky juice, here we go.
The delightful concoction known as sky juice or gully wash among the locals has its
Would
origins
wear
in
his
the
shirt,
Bahamas
yes.
and is often credited to Goldie's
You were wondering,
Concoction.
yes, I would wear his
However,
shirt.
They intentionally keep the origin open-ended. Sky juice dates back to the early 20th century, and during Prohibition, despite rum being abundant in the Bahamas, I mean, it was being bootlegged out of there like 90.
Yes, it was.
Gin became the preferred choice for sky juice.
That's
for
so
several
weird.
reasons. Cultural influence, with gin being a popular spirit during British rule. Availability, flavor, and variety, providing an alternative to rum-based cocktails and catering to different preferences. And let's not forget that gin could be made from almost anything. Bathtub gin, anyone? And as far as the mixers used back then, they didn't have easy access to canned juices or sodas, so they used indigenous tropical fruit juices
Of
like
course,
coconut
yeah.
water. There are a couple different approaches to making sky juice. Often, you'll see it mixed in an old plastic milk jug that's being passed around, or a coconut hacked open with a machete and used as the glass for this liquid legend. I don't have a machete handy. You got one, Aaron?
In my other pants.
Okay. So today, I'm just going to make a single serving in my shaker. There are a few variations that exist too. Some add extra sugar, coconut chunks or pineapple wedges. Cinnamon can replace the nutmeg, and of course white rum can substitute for gin. But it's not going to be the same. And here's the secret sauce, electrolytes. All those coconut water electrolytes keep you hydrated. It's like a hangover cure built right into the drink.
True, there are electrolytes in coconut.
Okay, let's make some sky juice and see what this thing tastes like.
What up, Bruce?
So I got a beef. You know, I'm always telling everyone to always use fresh. Fresh is best, right? Not in this case. I bought this coconut yesterday and it was fine. Today I wake up and it's starting to rot. I mean, there's even flies
Ew.
on it. You know, but the smell. It smells. It smells like freaking mold. Smell this, Eric.
It's bad.
Come on.
No,
smell it.
I'm not smelling your moldy coconut.
Shit, he's no fun.
Bad enough I drink cheese.
Cheese,
with
yes,
you.
yes, the cheese. It's just for you.
No, no.
It's made with love.
There's Will
Ready?
Howard drinks, Nathan. There it is. The mac and cheese shot.
Have my cheese. Have my cheese drink. Come on, come on. Have my cheese. Yes, yes. Anyway, in lieu of this rotting coconut, which I'm not going to use, I am going to use canned. Didn't want to do that.
Canned?
Yeah, canned coconut.
Got it.
Canned coconut water.
We've hit the apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Oh, I got all kinds of it in my storeroom.
Oh, for the apocalypse.
For the apocalypse. Of course I do. It's a hydration. Okay, I'm going with 4 ounces. I may even go more.
This is coconut
depending
water,
on how that
okay.
all plays out. Okay, next thing we're going to do is grab some gin. What kind of gin should we use? I don't know.
The clear stuff.
The clear stuff. Anyway, all right. I bought this new one because, well, the LCBO here, that's our liquor store here in Ontario, has gone on strike, And I bought a bottle here just before they, decided to lock us out. So Brockman's Gin. I might as well try.
Terry
some,
liquor store on strike,
no
you say?
idea.
That's funny.
They say it's really, really smooth. Well, it smells like gin. Lots of botanicals there.
Are payments in Canada not working as well? Is Made just making people made?
Quite citrusy, actually.
The grave?
Nice. Okay. Should we use this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I gonna say no?
Well, I don't know. I'm just, I got other gins here too. But we're gonna go with 2 ounces of gin in a mixing glass. And of course, I think the gin you choose to use will alter the flavor profile slightly. But really, it's all about the coconut, right?
No straw.
And our next ingredient.
Bruce makes actual cocktails and sometimes horrible mistakes, but never usually makes jungle juice.
This stuff is so thick. Thick. I guess this is our sweetener, and what we want is 1 ounce. Wow, that's thick shit, man. 1 ounce. Oh, baby. Looks like a cloudy day to me. Okay, all we're gonna do now is fill up our glass with some ice, pop a lid on and shake it. Or actually, don't shake it like a rotten coconut. Be careful what you always purchase. Okay, there's the thumbs up. I'm good to go. Shake it good. Shake it like you mean it. The sky's the limit, baby. Fluffy cloud. All right. Now you could use any kind of tall glass you've got. I just grabbed one out of my freezer.
Hurricane glass?
Hurricane style glass. I love this glass. We're gonna
It's
fill it
nice
full of
looking,
some
yeah.
fresh ice. Just a small ice cubes, okay? Just some small chipped ice, cracked ice. That looks pretty good. And we're just gonna strain this out into our glass. Oh yeah.
Very nice color. Just look like a cloud.
And we're gonna garnish. We're gonna garnish with some fresh nutmeg over top.
Good choice. Very Islander too, the Caribbean anyway.
Darn good. Now the nutmeg is our garnish, but if you wanted to get fancy, you could put a little, give it some height. A couple little pineapple prawns there. And why not an umbrella? I mean, you're on vacation in the Bahamas, right? Yeah. Beauty.
We'll get away there.
All right, let's see what this thing tastes like. Sky juice. Well, first off, you really don't need the prawns. But they're, they're complimentary of the coconut, right? And there's no pineapple in it, but yeah, it just gives it a little height and, makes it look extra special. The umbrella is a must. Anyway, here, actually, let me get rid of all of this. And I want to incorporate the nutmeg. Why
Okay.
not? And then add a little bit more on top. Not much. I'm getting nutmeg. Of course I am. Wow. I am pleasantly surprised.
Likes it.
Pleasantly surprised at how delicious this is. I didn't think it was going to pan out to anything much, but I don't mind this at all, There's a real blend. I mean, I didn't even taste the gin. What does that tell you? Be careful. Yeah, this totally works, man. I like it. I like it a lot. You should add this to your summer drink list because it really is very light. It's like sweet coconut water is what it is. Yeah, totally works for me. It's creamy, it's light, it's airy. Add this to your summer cocktail repertoire. Yeah, you can't get to the Bahamas? Make the Bahamas come to you. It's good, man.
Alrighty, there we go. Sky Juice by Bruce. Sounds funny, sped up. First coconut's really good. I hate artificial coconut myself.
You got a machete, Aaron?
It's in my other coat.
Because I don't have one, man. Can you go get it?
1 second. Yes, I'll just go get my machete. I've got like 10 of them here.
Yeah.
That's like for road rage, right? Jump out of your car with a
Boom.
machete and a coconut.
Yeah, and a coconut.
Hey, you want some coconut juice?
I have a license to carry.
Yeah, okay.
License to carry a machete.
I'm cuckoo for coconuts. Sky Juice coconuts, that is. And, that's pretty damn good. You want to hit the sky button and check out these other sky recipes.
There they are. Trader Wins and
Just check out these other tropical cocktails.
maybe there's nectar.
Hit the little bell. and make some sky juice. Get all juiced up on sky juice.
Alrighty, with that, we come to the end of the Case of the Monday. I'd like to thank everyone who came and everyone who's still here. I'm going to do a little shilling, then we'll be fully done. Don't forget the movie caption contest, movie picture, movie hangman are going on Discord, so be sure to play those when you're not busy in the arena, do the other regular things you do, or in the bulk area, bulking in. Anyway, don't forget tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me, Porky, and maybe Genova may be there too. There will be a dark room on Heretic Network, so be sure to tune in for that. Wednesday will be Wednesday, my dude, so be sure to tune in to Heretic Network again for that at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, Porky and Genova will possibly be there. We will see. Thursday will be a Skinner Radio at 8:30 p.m. back here, so be sure to tune in for that. And Friday, of course, is Hell on Earth, start of the month with some news, as we do, and the stuff we have to talk about. We're just going to have some nice casual chat at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Heretic Unlimited. So I will see you guys there. Have a good one, everybody. Peace!